What's up, everybody? Welcome. Super excited to have everybody here, man. We're just going to hang out and have some fun. Jeff, it's so good to have you, man. I don't know if you saw all the comments. You said you're going to draw for us tonight. I think Gunslinger and the Max were the two biggest ones. And then I was able to get to the Jordan. Jordan, thanks for being here, man. Two amazing artists, two of my favorite folks. And then we got Tiny Spawny. Mark here, and then we got Big Ed from 90 Day Fiance hanging out with us today. Just gonna be chilling.
Nice.
Sounds good to me.
Right on, man. Right on. What's up? Bedazzle's in the house. Well, Jeff, what was it? What were you gonna draw, man? Did you decide?
Well, I pulled out two Gunslinger blanks, so we can do one of those. I don't know how long does this thing go on for?
As long as we want, man. You let me know.
Okay. I got two Gunslinger blanks, and then I prepped a full 11x17 max page because that sounded like a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
So both of them will be pretty quick to do.
Okay. Sweet.
So whatever you like.
Right on, man. Let's start, man. You pick whatever you feel comfortable with. Jordan, you gonna draw too, man?
Yeah, I was actually on Whatnot drawing right before. That's why I had trouble because I was like, oh shit, I gotta jump on with those other guys in like 2 minutes. So I didn't have anything set up. But yeah, I was working on because we got today the pre-sales for my SDCC exclusive Godzilla cover come out are going live. So I was working on. When the pre-sales go live, I always jump on live with all my viewers, and we work out what the remarks are going to be. So we're doing like a couple different tiers of remarks. So yeah, I got something started here that I was going to work on. Sweet,
man. I love it. I love it. If you want, throw a link in the chat, man. If you want, get people over to your. Is it still available?
Yeah. So it's limited to 1,000 copies.
Yeah.
And I'm doing 50 that are numbered and signed and remarked, like I did with the. I'll pull out some examples here in a minute of the. What do you call them? Oh, man, my brain isn't working today.
Penthouse letters.
Like I did for the for the Hyde Streets and the whatnot. Yes. Okay, let me open that up. Yeah, I'm going to be working on. We're doing our first. Of the, I guess I should turn it so that you guys can actually see it.
Nice. Are you doing that one for Jeff?
He better.
If he wants it, he can have it. He did. There was a Violator sketch cover he did a while ago. It was actually this. It was the same day last. It was about this weekend last year. We were doing an event together in Toronto, and he was working on the sick Violator right beside me. I was like, "How much you want for that?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to sell it." Blah blah blah. And the whole time he's just yanking my chain. And then like a couple days later, I was like, "Yeah, seriously, if you want to, I'll just tell me how much you want for it, and I'll buy it off you." And he, "Oh, sorry, man, I sold it." And then he and my girlfriend Macy collaborated to like trick me, and then he sent it into the mail to me, so without charging me for it. So I think it's about time I owe him.
No. There was a charge. You just never paid me for it. I said I wanted $2.42, and you never even paid me for it.
Oh, I guess I do remember that.
Yeah. So don't think I didn't remember.
Yep.
And Big Ed. I can't believe I'm on. I got to chat with Big Ed. You're a big fan. We watched all of the series over the past few years of your various hijinks.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Ed has become a really good friend of mine, and we're actually business partners on the TV show. Since you watched it, he's really big on drinking Malbec wine, and so we have created a Big Ed Malbec that just got authorized and will be in Walmarts in September. So we're really
that's awesome! Congrats!
Yeah, we're excited.
At about 250 stores in the United States.
I don't know what that is.
So, for an example, these were the Terminator books, the Terminator exclusives that we did late last year. This is one of the metal covers, and yeah, we do these numbered remarks on all of them. So they try and make them, to reward the people who, because I'm still pretty early in my comic career here, So my way of just giving something a little special to those guys who are supporting from.
So how do you, Jordan? How do you draw those? What's your medium?
So for something like this, I used a acrylic paint marker. For the bigger sketch covers, the black light ones. These ones are also acrylics, but I use a special fluorescent paint, so they glow under a black light. I can show you. Can you turn off the?
That's awesome. And then how do they go from? How do you go from design to print? Is it a lithograph? Is it a like a high printing process where they get the colors right?
So for these blacklight ones, they're all done by hand.
Oh, cool.
I think I also have maybe something here. I also do glow in the dark ones.
And then from there you go to print. You take.
Yeah. Well, I can also show you here. Where's
That was awesome, man.
I can show you for the Terminator and for the Witchblade ones. So lots of them I try as much as I can to do a physical version first, because I feel like that's becoming a lost art in comics, where
definitely
most people are doing all digital stuff, right?
Yeah, and it's all digital dust, man.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to, I try to do lots of them physical. I do these by hand with calligraphy ink. And well, that one you can't see. That one's not released yet. That's another Witchblade that's coming out. That's the one that you got.
Yeah.
Can I hire you to draw me a figure of me?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to do that.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I'll connect you guys that way you can make that happen, Ed. Jordan is freaking phenomenal, man. Phenomenal.
But yes, so I draw them physically like that, and then I take them to the library downtown here, and I scan them in on their big, beautiful scanner, and then from there, oh, did I lose my camera?
Yeah, I turned off for a sec.
Okay, I can fix that. So from there,
oh wow.
Oh, we still aren't back. Okay, give me a sec. Oh, my big fingers. There we go. From there, I color them digitally, or also my girlfriend Macy. She's a colorist for a lot of my projects. So for Hyde Street, she did the colors on that, and our and the M&M, the one we did for the M&M book.
So what
is an M&M cover?
Pardon?
You did. Is that the M&M? What's that one company that does all like the stars and the presidents, and they do like short stories on them?
Tidal Wave production.
Tidal Wave. You did a Tidal Wave cover?
Yeah, I've done a few of them.
Nice.
See if I can pull some out here. I got a bunch.
And what's digital coloring?
So digital coloring is it gets scanned in, and we color it using an app on our iPads called Procreate. So digital coloring just basically allows you to get higher fidelity, and it's a little bit faster. There's not so much risk, and if you mess up, you can just press back. You don't. So yeah, there's the one that Macy colored, the ASM 300 homage.
Oh wow.
And then there's also, we did this one, which was a play on the recent album the recent album that he put out.
Oh, that's dope.
And Eminem, wow.
And then there's another one where we did the new version of Rat Boy, and then the new Rat Boy coming out of the portal with the older Rat Boy. But yeah, so these get colored digitally. I draw them out physically, and then we color them on the computer, so you can get that nice, clean. I guess the word would be like high fidelity look to it, as opposed to the more natural painterly style that hand drawn art has.
That is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to do something for you, Ed. That would be fantastic.
Man, now, what's Monk working on?
Just scribbling on a
Gunslinger
sketch cover. Yeah.
You're just sketching that out right now?
It's so good.
Yeah,
Shit.
I figured I'd do a little painted sort of. I don't know. Like I'm really new to all this, so I'm just trying to figure things out as I go along, including technique.
Yeah.
So I've been trying all kinds of stuff, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Most of the time it does. He's far too humble about that.
And you're just
Oh
literally
no.
reading that from your head.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not exactly a complicated like layout, so I'm just kind of riffing off some of this stuff that I did earlier. I don't know if you guys saw it, like the gunslinger in the fog, and I really like doing those ones. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, this is gonna be the same sort of thing.
But that's all freehand.
Yeah, yeah. Just scribble it out and hope like hell, and then smash it into place. So,
I think you should give yourself a little more credit, Jeff.
Yeah,
no. I have a very good awareness of what I can do and what I cannot. And it's funny because a lot of people find it, so it's really been interesting because I've been going to a lot of shows, and some people think that it's self-deprecating, but it's not. It's actually just a good awareness of what I can do and how the hell I'm doing it, and most of it legitimately is me just smashing shit into place. So
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty funny. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it's a fucking catastrophe. So
Yeah.
So out of the different art styles that you've tried, Jeff, like which one do you like the most, or which is your favorite to work in?
I don't know, because each style sort of brings its own, I don't know, it's kind of joys, I guess. Like I'm working on, I gotta be careful. Some of this stuff I can't show yet.
Okay. Yeah. No.
And I lost whatever the fuck I was just drawing. I literally lost a page that I was drawing. That's fantastic. I am not a grown up.
It's all right. None of us are. We're all pretending.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just big kids with adult money.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I'd like some of that adult money.
Yeah, right.
Found it. Found it. So, I mean, each one comes with its joy. Now, I can only show you part of this, so you guys got to tell me if you can see it. Can you see that guy's arm?
I saw that on your Instagram today, that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is, what the hell am I showing you guys? Oh, it's backwards. Oh, I see. So that's the Thing from the Fantastic Four.
Oh, wow.
If I had to draw that all the time, I would probably be blind and my hands wouldn't work. But it's fun getting in there and doing all the little stupid details and cracks and textures, and so it's worth it.
Yeah, it looks amazing, man. Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram today. It was dope.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I like everything that you've put out, but I'd say if I had to pick, my favorite was like the stuff where you're talking about with Gunslinger in the Fog, like we're using the watercolors. I just like the way that like the colors bleed together, and it's not, it's not real crisp. I just like, the way that it looks like stuff is just, like in the mist, like you said.
Well, it's funny. Like, so one of the things that I've been starting to do is I've been getting a little bit braver, and I've actually been taking my work to shows and talking to like real artists and being like, okay, how do I get less shit? And it's been fantastic, and they've taught me so many things. Sometimes it's a lot of fun to do all the little details and to go absolutely out of your mind, but it's not always necessary. Sometimes it's better to give your readers the ability to sort of make up the story on their own. So the ones like in the fog, there's the details not there, but it's suggested. And so those seem to actually resonate pretty well.
Yeah, that's what I like about the fog. It's like you get to look at the picture and appreciate it, but your mind kind of fills in the blanks as far as what like the fine details would be.
Yeah, and I mean it's fun, right? Like those are actually based. So funny enough, those are actually based on Japanese paintings.
Okay.
Is anybody else hearing feedback, or is that just me?
You're a little crunchy.
Am I really? Son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
You're coming in good.
I mean, we can hear you, but
Yeah, it's all good, Jeff. It's all good. I didn't know if it was like a chair, maybe speaker or something. I'm not sure.
What was that?
I didn't know if maybe it's just a chair or something. I don't
Who knows? But yeah, so these are all based on like Japanese watercolor paintings. Because I was surfing around and found something cool, and I was like, I wonder if I can do that. And that was it. That's literally how all this comes together. So
one of my favorite things that you do is that you just share everything about your process. As far as becoming a well-known established artist, you show us all your failures, your trials and tribulations. When something rips, when something doesn't go right, and that's what I like about it. It's like you're just real and down to earth.
Yeah.
well, I mean, so thank you. But well-known established artist, that's a stretch. I love you, but that's a stretch. I'm working on it.
I said you're getting there. You're getting there.
Yeah. It's been a voyage. It's going to continue to be a voyage, and it's been pretty damn funny. But it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of work. So
Overnight success takes like 20 years.
Yeah.
All right. So
I talked to Thomas this week. He was going to try and stop in, but he said Friday was a bad day for him. But I mean, I think you're doing all right if they know exactly who you two are very well.
Listen, Thomas is the guy that you see like balancing 57 plates on sticks and spinning them. Like that guy does so much.
Yeah.
I feel terrible every time I bug him on Instagram. I still do it, but I feel bad about it.
Yeah. So if you
So
don't
he's
get Healy is the editor-in-chief of Todd McFarlane's over Spawn, almost I think all of the titles. And as you know, as they expand the universe of Spawn, there's like a bazillion different titles under Spawn now with Image Comics, and he is the editor-in-chief for all of that. Then on top of that, he has his own title. Dropped Black Ritual, which is fantastic if you're not reading it. So but yeah, shout out to Thomas. He is an amazing dude, man. And he, like you said, is balancing a lot, Jeff.
Well, it's not only that. I don't know if you noticed, but he's writing Sam and Twitch now as well.
Yes, yeah. He started with issue 15.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Let me see it. I don't think it's the new. I don't know if it's come out, the latest one with him writing.
Is he writing the newest case, or did he just take over on a certain issue?
Oh, I don't know. I'd love to bug him about this and understand the whole process, but like I said, so busy, just ridiculous.
If I'm not mistaken, he starts to take over. I'll look right now.
Oh, so he hasn't yet.
I mean, he's obviously started working on it. I don't think his issues have been released yet.
Okay, then he might be taking over on the next case.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He might be taking over all of McFarlane. I have no idea, but he's getting to that point. So I'm expecting one day he's going to step out and be like, okay, from now on, I'm Todd. So what else whatever you guys need, here we go.
Yeah, exactly. He starts at issue 19. So I think 14 was the last one, or is 15 out now?
Oh, I'm not sure.
So 14 is out. So later this year, he'll take over that title. I think once Black Ritual is done, we'll start to see Sam and Twitch. I know, obviously, with all of his responsibility as an editor, I'm thinking that they were saying, look, we certainly want you to write, but maybe one title at a time. Last time I had him on. So he's probably spacing himself just to make sure he doesn't get too stretched, even though he already is.
Listen, man, that guy's so stretched. If you held him sideways, he'd be transparent. Like he's doing so much.
He really is, man.
Yeah, and then he answers assholes like me on Instagram. Like it's crazy. Like I don't know what the hell he's thinking.
Yeah.
So, but thank God he does, because I got questions.
Yeah, no, it's freaking awesome that he does that.
Yeah.
So
he's a hero of the people.
Yep.
So I've been trying to keep track of like the different things that you've had published, Jeff. And is the Geiger #5? Is that your first official published work?
It was. That was my first, I guess, real cover. That was done with the Mad Comic Lounge. I think they're out of Pennsylvania. Really nice guys.
Yeah.
They took a chance and they're like, "Can you do a cover?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And we did it, and that was what came. And it did okay. So
Yeah, I like the cover.
yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Did you go to SpawnCon too, Jeff?
As far as I know, there was no SpawnCon 2.
Not you. I mean, the first one that was in Colorado, because you were there, right, Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Main reason
Yeah,
I went
I
was
was.
Jeff.
Yeah, I was one of the organizers.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I
That
was
is-
supposed to be there. I couldn't get there, but I know Mark, you were there, right?
Yeah, SpawnCon was my introduction to Jeff.
Gotcha.
So
Really
The-
sorry for anything I did.
oh no, that's when I became a fan. So so SpawnCon was announced. I was looking at the list of everybody that was going to be there, the organizers, and I saw this guy's name on there, Jeff Monk, and I'm like, who is this? So I go to his page and I check him out because I never heard of him before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So he started posting Spawn stuff, and I'm like, okay. So he posts on his page, he posts a sketch cover that he did for Gunslinger. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to SpawnCon. I said, I want that cover. So I get there. Well, before the show even starts. No, it was right after the show started. There was we had like a community page or whatever where people could post, just like a group chat for anybody that was part of the SpawnCon, group. And somebody got on there and was just trashing the show, saying that this is garbage. There's no comics. They said there were going to be comics, and this whole thing was pointless. And Jeff just gets on there and rips this guy a new one, and he's like, "What are you talking about? Nowhere did we say there was going to be Spawn comics. All the people behind the scenes busted their butt to put this together, and you just want to get on here and trash it because there's no comics." And I walked into SpawnCon, walked right up to Jeff, and I said that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Like just laying that guy out like that, and he had the cover there, but I wasn't able to get it. But I've gotten every other Gunslinger thing he's done since. So yeah, that was my introduction to Jeff.
Yeah, I can get spicy, I guess.
Oh no, I love it.
The thing that a lot of people don't understand is like when we did SpawnCon, it was a group of us. It was myself and Chet and Brandon and Tyrone and God, I'm gonna forget people. Cody helped out a bunch. Donovan helped out with the logo. Like it was a bunch of people, but like we weren't in it to make any money. In fact, we made a pledge that said like if we make any money off of this, and like there's literally zero chance that we will, all of it's going to go to SpawnCon 2. But the thing is we never really had any business doing that con, right? Like Spawn is Todd's baby. So for us to put on a show based on something that he's done like that, that's and we had meetings with them and we explained like we're not in this for the money. Like we don't want to make any money. Like we'll give you all the money when we're done if you really want. We just want to do this show because like we love Spawn, we love the character, we love the universe. Like that is literally the entire driving force behind this show.
Yeah.
And I think through Todd's, the problem with being Todd McFarlane is that you're Todd McFarlane. Everybody wants a piece of you. Everybody's trying to get an angle to somehow capitalize off of you. It's just how it goes. Like it's the drawbacks of success, I guess. And I think he understood. I think he recognized the fact that we weren't in this for the money. We weren't trying to make any money off of him. So he gave us a limited license to produce some shirts for that show, and like he basically saved our ass. And the show happened, and then he said like we can't let you guys do another, and that's totally fair. Like that's 100% fair. So, SpawnCon is unfortunately no more, but we were super blessed to be able to have even one, and
Yeah.
it was awesome. Like,
It was an awesome show.
the
Yeah.
adventures that came out of that show was hilarious.
What was his hesitation not to have another show?
Well, because it's not us. It's not. We don't deserve it, right? Like we don't deserve the rights to do a Spawn show. Like that is his intellectual property. He was like, it's funny because a lot of people don't understand the level of generosity that he showed us by letting us do the shirts and like letting us do the show. But the problem is if you let, some, pardon the language, just some fucking bums like us do it, well, other people might get the idea that they can do whatever they want with his IP, and all of a sudden now he's got to send lawyers out and this and that, and like that sucks.
Like, imagine the amount of cold solicits he got after that. Like, oh, you let these other guys do SpawnCon. I want to do this, and then like that's just a headache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was fortunate enough to have him on my podcast probably like a month after SpawnCon, and we did talk about SpawnCon, and he was so impressed. If you watch that video, he talked about how impressed he was, and how happy he was that it was successful. And he did kind of mention on there that you sparked, like everybody involved sparked all kinds of ideas for the future. It's all timing for him. But I would not be surprised in the near future if some sort of a SpawnCon doesn't start up, and it obviously being initiated by Todd McFarlane Productions, and he does something on his own because of what all of you accomplished. So again, I just think there's so many things going on between toys and obviously the comics and the expanded universe, but you guys laid an amazing foundation, I think, for something in the future. And like you said, Jeff, with his popularity, if he were to do a con on his own, even if he did it in Arizona near his office, it would be a pretty good sized con, I think, if he really got behind it.
I think so. I mean, look, Todd is eternal. Like Todd can do almost no wrong, right? Like legitimately, if Todd went out and signed a tree, somebody would buy the tree. Like Todd, people love Todd. Todd's earned his legendary status in this industry, and the guy's on top of it. He's just a really good guy.
Yeah.
I haven't had, unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of interactions with him because, like, when Todd is somewhere, everybody wants Todd. But they're growing. I got a funny story if you guys want it.
Yeah, of course.
So I went to this year. I got super brave, and I went to MegaCon. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go and talk to like pro artists and like find out how to not be shit." And then I saw that Todd was gonna be there. I'm like, "I'm gonna go fucking bust Todd's balls." And so, I went, and it was very cool. And I got to talk to a lot of artists. Now, I didn't get to talk to Todd really because he was just like super slammed because Todd. But then they had this signature opportunity, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get a signature from Todd. Why not? Because I'm a whore to Todd's signature. Last time he did his CGC thing, I sent 42 books in and then cried because I got the credit card bill. And so I said, all right. And I lucked out and I got a spot, and I was like, okay, we're going to have some fun. So, my turn came and I went last, and I slid the artwork in front of him, and he goes, oh, I know what this is. And I said, well, yeah, you should. It's your next month's cover. And he goes, yeah, that's right. I saw this. And I was wearing this shirt that said, I heart Tord, Tord. And he's like, what the hell is Tord? And I said, well, Todd, I don't know if you know this, buddy, but even after all that practice, sometimes you just don't know how to sign your own goddamn name. And so I don't know if he thought that was funny. And I told him, I was like, there's actually a whole subset of collectors that want Tord books. They don't want Todd. They want Tord.
Mark probably has, man. Yeah,
I have one somewhere. And this one here, okay, this isn't a Tord, but I mean, this must have been towards the end.
Towards the end.
Well,
I got Big Ed buying McFarlane toys now, guys. He's got 2 so far.
That's for the statue.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't really say McFarlane.
No.
It says McFarlane.
Yeah. It's missing the C, right?
Yeah, I think you got in the statue is back there.
Here, I'll show you guys something pretty funny. Hold on a second. I'm in the other room getting it. So I don't know if he did this on purpose or not. But anyway, so I slid the artwork in front of him, and we talked about the Tord thing, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I recognize this. This is next month's cover." I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "It's my first cover with you," and he's like, "Oh, that's great." And he's like, "Yeah, I still haven't written the book." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I still haven't written it." I said, "What do you mean you haven't written it?" He goes, "When I go home from here, I got to write the whole thing out." And I said, "Well, Todd, buddy, you better fucking step it up because the cover's pretty shit hot. So like, pressure's on." And then I think I got dismissed because it was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Was that 362?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, that's the cover art for 362.
Look at that.
And what did he give me at the top there?
Tord.
Look at that Tord.
Nice. Yeah,
That is a beautiful Tord. Yeah.
Because I think, what do you think one of his signed comics go for? About $100, probably.
I mean, it depends on the book, and it depends on. It's also the platform that you sell it on. Like
Yeah.
and some places like his stuff goes for millions of dollars, and then other places it's like 32 cents. And you can figure that one out, I would love to know.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing
I think
is, though,
the average is close to $100 for like just a regular comic signed by him.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
The one I don't know if you have this one, Mark, but is it issue 7? I believe is the only cover
he did
where
not. Yeah, I have it.
he doesn't have his emblem. So for everyone who doesn't know, he always has his emblem at the very bottom right of any cover that he does, and it says McFarlane on it. And for whatever reason, he says it didn't get printed on that. So
when he forgot it.
Yeah, he forgot
it. He rushed that cover out and he forgot to put it on. So he said, he said issue 7 is the one comic he says do not let me sign it.
Yeah,
because that's the only one that does not have my signature on it.
Guys, I can't even tell you how many times CGC has had to send books back to me because I forgot to sign them, and that's the whole reason that they're there.
Yeah.
Oh, like the Gunslinger print that I bought that you didn't sign.
Yeah, it was just.
I know you did it.
I did that on purpose. I thought it'd be funny.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's hilarious. It's great.
Yeah.
I have to try to convince people, like, no, Jeff really did do this. I promise.
Yeah, no, I'm just, I am incredibly disorganized, and I got a healthy dose of ADHD, and I literally just forget.
I'm just busting your balls. I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, the balls deserve it. It's ridiculous. So.
Okay, so I am curious. So, you're into the cover art, or, you're doing your covers, but you had the chance to do the interior work on Night of the Chihuahuas. How much of a change was that between going from covers to having to do the interiors to doing the panels?
It is an entirely different process. It is so much harder. It's almost like it's not even the same job. Like it's the interior panels are so much harder. And then with Night of the Chihuahuas, David wrote that one. You got to get to know how somebody's sort of seeing things versus how you're seeing it, and so it's this back and forth, and it's hard. But I kind of really had a lot of fun with it, so I'm going to be doing potentially more interiors somewhere else. It won't. I'm not continuing on with the Chihuahuas, unfortunately, but I got a few other things in the fire. So
that's awesome.
We shall see.
So I guess you would prefer. So you would much prefer then to do cover art, or are you wanting to get into doing interiors?
Oh no, I'm going to be doing more interiors. Interiors are just. I want to tell stories. Like that's really what I want to do. And I just have to get better at it because right now I'm quite shitty. I can tell you. I'll tell you guys another funny story from MegaCon if you like.
Yeah.
So I was wandering around and I was talking to the really good people at Comic Sketch Art, and they got a couple people there that sort of know me and stuff, and they're just great. They've been such a help with everything. But I was saying oh, I'd really love for Greg Capullo to look at my portfolio. And they're like, Greg's really busy. And I'm like, I know. And I was like, if I can tell you the truth, I'm fucking terrified of Greg Capullo because I think, in my opinion, he is the best artist in comics. And when Greg is going at I rate myself on what's called, I've invented it, it's patent pending, called the Capullo scale.
Okay.
And so, Greg at full tilt is 100 Capullos. Like, I don't know if you've been watching him do his Creech book,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know what sort of drugs or satanic rituals he's doing to be able to do that, but I'm willing. Like, just let me know, I'm in. And I figure right now, if I'm lucky on a really good day, I'm a solid 13 to 14 Capullos. Like, it's a long way off. And so I got him to look at my portfolio, and he's looking at it. He goes, "But these are all covers and stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing mostly covers." He's like, "Do you have some sequential stuff?" He goes, "I'm a sequential artist." And I was like, "You are a sequential artist?" I was like, "Yeah, I do have some." I was like, "They're at the back, but it's very rough because I'm just getting into it and I'm just trying to learn." And he goes, "Yeah, no problem." And so he looks at the covers stuff and he's like, "Yeah, this is good. Okay, this is fine. Try this, do this." And I'm like, "Okay." And then he looks at the sequential stuff and he's like, "Yeah, no, no, no." He goes, "Okay, none of this is any good." So he's like, "You really got to work on this." And he goes, "Okay, school's in, take fucking notes." And I was like, "Okay." And I dropped my shit. And so I'm texting my wife everything that he's saying. And my wife is like, "What's this? What do you mean by this? Is this for me? I was like, "Stop answering." And so he just, basically he gave me the lowdown on a lot of stuff. And he's fantastic. He really is. But like basically my internal pages are just shit. They just are. They're not going to stay shit. I'm figuring out how to do things and stuff. But it's really funny. I drew some sample pages that I wanted to send to Thomas, but then I was like, these are just too shitty for me to send them anywhere. So I didn't. And I said to him, I was like, I'm trying to learn, but like, holy shit, is it hard? And he's like, "Yeah, it's really hard." But there was a couple of things that were okay, and I know what my strengths are, so to speak. But like drawing, I drew, like, there was one panel where there was a guy, I apologize right now to anybody who's religious, but he was crucified on the cross and his guts were hanging out, and it was just a fucking mess. It was a lot of fun. And that was okay. But the scene where people are just standing there talking, no, that was shit. Because when you draw something that people understand, and it's wrong, they'll know. And they might not be able to articulate to you that it is wrong, but they'll know that people don't stand there and look like that when they're talking.
The mundane
that's
stuff
really
is the
hard.
most difficult stuff by far.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's what I have to get better at.
So you're saying like you just need to work on like making it look like the characters are naturally in the scene and not just standing there like cardboard cutouts, or is that what?
Yeah, like that they look like they're actually. Yeah, like you look at like Thomas Knucklick stuff from like Sam and Twitch and all the stuff that he's doing, and like you legitimately believe that they're in an alleyway and they found some stuff and they don't really know what to do and they're like trying to figure it out. Like there's no question that that's what's happening there, and so I can't do that. My guys look stiff and they're weird and they're like staring into space and it's just strange. So that's the stuff that I'm gonna work on, and it'll come. Like it'll come. That's what she said, but it'll come, in time. But it's gonna take a lot of work. But I'm willing. So I'm happy that, like, right now I spend about 12 hours, maybe 10 and a half hours a day at this stupid table, and I've gotten super fat off of it, and it is what it is. So that's that. Is any of this interesting? I have no idea.
Yeah, for sure.
No, yeah,
absolutely, man.
Hold on a second. I'm going to do something here that people always panic when I do this.
What's that?
He sprayed it with water.
Oh,
yeah.
What do you do that
Yeah.
for?
Because I want to do a nice little sky scene.
Oh,
So you do something like this, and you just brush it in, and it'll sort itself out, kind of.
wow.
But these sketch covers are actually horrible to work on.
Materials.
Because they absorb paint in a really weird way and water in a weird way, and it makes for some very interesting moments. I'll tell you that much.
Wow.
But that's what you got to do. So, but we get a little bit of Bob Ross going on here, and
Got a happy little
we hope
tree.
that it's,
Yeah, you gotta have little trees in there if you're gonna do that. Should have done a singer Bob Ross. That would have been cool.
Listen, man, I legitimately watch Bob Ross all the time. Like whenever I can watch that guy, I'll do it because I've picked up. I've been doing this technique where it's more. Can't really show you what this is, so I'm going to show it to you upside down. But techniques like this, where it's all splattered and like ripped and all that, and that is straight up Bob Ross palette knife.
Yeah.
So, like him doing his little mountains and stuff. So that's where that came from.
So when you're coming up with like an idea for, whether you're drawing for a cover or just making a print or, doing like, covers like this, do you prefer to do like just a portrait or just of the person just standing there, or do you like to do the action scenes?
It depends on what I'm trying to do. A lot of the stuff that I've been doing lately is a little bit more, I don't know, I guess the only term is like artsy fartsy. So I'm doing a lot more stuff like that. And it's been very strange because I legitimately have no idea what I'm doing, but the response has been pretty positive. It depends on really what I'm doing. Like, I love a good action scene, though. Like, the problem with me, though, is I have zero self-control. So if I go to do an action scene, I tend to go way overboard on the detail, and the whole thing just turns into like, oh man, like sometimes it's a little much.
Yeah.
So I think the finest compliment I've gotten to that is from Mr. Ben Templesmith, who I'm a big fan of. And I was showing, I did this one drawing of Violator. He was in a crypt and he was attacking Gunslinger. And I had him bursting out of the crypt, and like all the rubble was flying all over the place, and then the name tag flew off. Like it was just chaos. And he looked at it, and then he looked at me, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "Can I ask you a question?" And I was like, "Sure." And he goes, "Are you on the spectrum at all?" I was like, I don't think so, but I appreciate where you're going here. Like, so thank you. Because it was just ridiculous and overboard. So,
you? Oh, yeah, you're talking about this one, right?
I'm gonna have to trust. Yeah, that's the one. Like, if you look at the top of the crypt where the violators popping out, like,
yeah,
it's a little much. It is, and I'll admit that.
Looks dope as hell.
I really like it. I mean, there's a lot going on, but I mean, I don't think it's too much.
Well, thank you. I mean, I took it as a compliment. I thought it was really funny. Because Ben is just a funny guy. Like, he is a really funny dude.
He is, man. He's awesome. Such a cool, down to earth guy.
Yeah. Like, I got to meet him at SpawnCon for the first time, where he argued with me that I was not actually from Toronto because I pronounced the second T. I was like, all right.
Are you in the GTA then, or what's going on there?
I'm on the outskirts. So it's a place called Etobicoke. It's west of Toronto.
Okay.
Don't worry, though. Just like everywhere else in Toronto, it's ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
For no justifiable reason.
Yeah.
So, it's fun like that. So.
That's hilarious, man. Doing all right, Ed?
Yeah,
Are you drawing?
No, I'm just really enamored watching these guys bring these. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And as for the self-deprecating thing, I do that a lot, but you know, you can't hide talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no, I think these guys are awesome.
Yeah, they're amazing, man. So fun to watch something come to life like that.
Oh yeah, and
Thank you.
I mean, I've seen quite a Jordan. I've seen quite a bit of your work, but that I do really enjoy it. But that Godzilla that you're doing there you got some insane detail in there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
That
Godzilla's
is
one of
wicked.
my I think it's probably the first thing I ever loved. I remember being like 7 years old at my dad's house watching movies with my brother and sisters, and yeah, we were found my dad's like Godzilla collection on the shelf, and we'll put on Terror of Mechagodzilla, and like I remember that moment, like holy shit, this is the coolest shit I've ever
Yeah.
seen. So like when an opportunity to come up to do a Godzilla cover came out, like Jeff knows, I've been talking about doing a Godzilla cover for 2-3 years now, trying to get on and doing one of these. It was one of the first things when that first Eminem book, because that was my first published book, came up.
Oh, the Eminem book was?
Yeah, they asked me,
Nice.
well, what other covers would you like to do? What other titles? And like top of the list was Godzilla. And like the funny thing is, I never got to draw it. I never drew him for like years. I was only drew like Spawn and lots of Venom. Like also characters I really like, because like Spawn and Venom, like Venom, I always say Venom is a cheat code for drawing, because if you screw up, nobody really notices. He's just goop and teeth.
Right.
So if you screw something up, it's pretty easy
just
to
say
get
you
away
meant
with.
to do that, right?
Yeah, I meant for that to happen.
Yeah.
That was done on purpose. And Godzilla's another one of those that I've come to learn is like, although, yeah, when you're working for Toho or when Toho is involved, you got rules to follow. But yeah, Godzilla's a lot of fun. He's spikes and fire, and if you get them in the right shape, you can have a really good effect.
So
And
do you like
Stampies.
do you like the newer Godzilla, or are you just a fan of like the old school black and whites?
Literally anything Godzilla. I have every.
Okay.
I have every God. I have the first Marvel Godzillas, like back when he was shrunk down to like 6 inches tall in the New York subway, and then fighting rats underground. Then he fights the Fantastic Four when he's 6 foot tall. He fights all the
Obviously.
Avengers when he gets big. Then Nick Fury chases him around the city. Anything Godzilla. I have Godzilla -1. Dark Horse Godzilla. The recent MonsterVerse movies were really, really good. I do like them a lot. They have a lot of charm. Lots of people take Godzilla very, very seriously.
Yeah.
And at times I can be like that, but I think Godzilla's supposed to be fun, right? And that's something that those MonsterVerse movies really capture. They nail the fun. They make no sense. They're implausible as hell, but like, damn, there's just a ton of fun. And you got like Godzilla -1, which takes itself very, very seriously.
That was a great movie.
And that's the whole reason. Like, that's really the reason I got the opportunity to do a Godzilla cover, was because it won the Oscar, and Toho was like, "Wow, people care about Godzilla again." The MonsterVerse movies really appeal to kids and younger people, and then these -1 was just such a. I think it's probably one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's so well done. It captures the really adult, scary stuff about Godzilla super well. And so that, as a result of that, Toho was like, well, we're going to put a couple $1 billion into the Godzilla IP over the next few years. So they got all these new Godzilla comics coming out, new Godzilla toys. There's a bunch of games in the works, and a bunch of more movies coming out. And if it weren't for the success of -1, they would have never put out Godzilla Kaisei. And Godzilla Kaisei was the one that I was actually able to get together to be able to do, mostly due to that, because it was one of those things where I was like, I got to do this, and nobody's going to ask me to do it, so I'm just going to do it myself. And yeah, I ended up just emailing. I made a Lunar account and a Penguin Random House account specifically so I could have a way to contact IDW. And then messaged them, got a hold of their. Originally it was DC. I tried to get on doing this book, Godzilla vs. Kong vs. Justice League, to get on with them. And I was talking to their editor in chief, and their talent manager and whatever, sending them my portfolio. But then like they just went dark on me and never replied. So that kind of sucked. But eventually Godzilla Kaisei came up and Toho or IDW seemed receptive, and then spent months chasing down retailers and other people to contribute to get involved with it, because as an independent artist, like I'm a full-time artist. I don't do anything except for draw.
Yeah.
And the last 6 months have been a real tough battle. No, it's hard to like. I always say this about Niagara Comic-Con when we did that. I was a couple booths down from Greg Capullo, and this was before I had Witchblade or Department of Truth or Terminator under my belt, right? And it's kind of hard to sell a sketch cover for $150 when you got Greg Capullo selling sketch covers for $150 3 booths down, right? Yeah. Nobody wants to. It's very hard to get people to buy your stuff if nobody knows who you are, right? And luckily, so I couldn't do it myself. I had to get some other people involved. So luckily, We Can Be Heroes Comics and Gotham Central Comics, they were very great about it. Yeah, we'd love to do that with you. Still ended up, I ended up for the covers that I really want to do. I don't ever ask to be paid. I just like say, put the money towards the run of the book so that it's not so. That's how I get people to buy. That's how I get people to actually print and release these books. Is by saying, you don't have to pay me. You can put that money towards the print run so it doesn't cost you near as much. Just give me some books, because at heart I do this because I just want to work on these cool things like Terminator and Predator and whatever. Getting the books and having something cool that I worked on is more than enough for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Godzilla it's been real fun over the past few months. Me and Jeff have been going back and forth because he's also got a Godzilla cover. Or we're allowed to talk about that? Did you announce that?
Yeah, I think they did.
Okay.
It's been announced, yeah.
Okay.
I was going to ask him about it.
But yeah, me and him going back and forth, different designs, different ideas. And so it's been really fun to visit the world of Godzilla for a while and do some crazy stuff and test out things that I haven't done before or that I haven't seen before. That was what me and Jeff spent a lot of time talking about, was trying to find things that haven't been done. But you got a character that's been around for 75 years now, 70 years at this point. Mm-hmm. And anybody who can draw, or even those who can't draw, everybody has drawn Godzilla at one point or another in their life. And so that and especially people who are talented, they've all drawn Godzilla at one point or another, whether it's for fun, for professional reasons or whatever. So it's kind of hard to find a unique idea. Mm-hmm. It's just saturated IP. So working with IDW was really great because they had this specifically new Godzilla, a new thing that nobody had ever seen, nobody had ever done, and they were very specific, which I'm very happy for, on like what you can and what you cannot do, what they require, what they won't let you do. And it was going back and forth for weeks about like, oh, his arms are too big, his spikes are too spiky. So it was fun to get to work on something like that. Whereas a lot of time I'm just kind of let they give me an idea of what they want, or what they give me a list of don'ts, but they don't give me a list of do's. And it's nice to have some specific directions sometimes. Yeah, that can go the other way, where it's like, oh, just back off. But no, it is a great experience. I'm super happy about this. And yeah, I love drawing Godzilla. I got a whole bunch of Godzilla stuff around now to work on.
That's awesome. Now, I'm wondering, Jordan, because you do the black light.
Mm-hmm. This one's black light too.
Yeah. I'm wondering though, is there a way for that to be like mass produced on covers where the black light, or is it just too expensive? Probably.
There is, but so every time I've inquired with a publisher about it, it's just like, no, we don't want to do that. The answer I get is we can't do that. We don't do that. But then like a month or two later, I'll see like, oh, they did release a blacklight book or a glow in the dark book. I think they're kind of reserved on doing that stuff right now because the variant comic market is getting more and more saturated as time goes on, right? And I think they're just trying to, keep bullets in the gun instead of shooting the whole clip all at once, because they don't want to avoid burning the market out on all the gimmicks, right? But I have been lucky where, you know, like my Department of Truth 27, Image was willing to do a foil for me on that one.
That's awesome.
And that one couldn't have came. That one got delayed by months because we had to reprint it. But then it was supposed to come out the day after the election, so we designed the whole concept around that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull one out here. But then the delay ended up working in our favor because so this was the stock cover, the A cover.
That's so dope.
And let me turn this off. This was the A cover, and I think this one turned out really good. I like this. But then the foil, we actually got it sent back once because originally the flag for the foil was going to be on fire. And they're like, no, we aren't going to print that, bro.
Yeah.
And
that could be bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And right after the election. Yeah.
Yeah. It would not be good.
And then, where's one? I got a foil one here somewhere. I got just piles of books that I'm working on at any given time.
Yeah.
But then we had fire underneath it, and the foil just came out so nice. I got too many books here. Oh, there's one that I'm working on right now because I'm doing the remark on it right now.
Oh, okay.
These I have to use a specific type of paint to do the remark on it because the foil, it doesn't stick very well.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I have to use a different type of paint as a base color. So then I have to let it dry for like 24 hours. But yeah, the foil came out really great. But yeah, it was funny because for Witchblade, we wanted to do a foil or a spot print for that one. We wanted to make it so her armor was all foil, or to do it so that she was spot print, so she stood out on it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we don't offer foil. And yeah, the next month when we did Department of Truth, like, yeah, we can do foil.
Figures, right?
Anyway,
But then for Witchblade, they did I don't know if you ever took yours out, Thomas, but it's she's kind of like embossed.
Yeah. Came on nice, man.
There's one here. I know there is.
You gonna say something, Ned?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to jump off here. I want to thank for sharing your. Oh, sorry. You're sharing your talent. This was really amazing. Thank you so much. And I look forward to working with one of you guys on I've always dreamed of running Japan arrows off of the horse. That are low.
Yeah. I'll connect you guys after that. No worries.
Absolutely. We'd love to do that. That would be great.
Appreciate this. You guys are awesome.
See you, Ed. Thanks for coming by, man.
Tommy, be soon.
Talk soon.
But yeah, you can maybe kind of see it here, the embossed, how they did all the line work with an extra layer of
that's awesome, man.
An extra layer of ink, so it's just all of her lines stick out, which is cool. I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
that was also one of the top of my list that I was asking to do was Witchblade.
Yeah,
so I'm real fingers crossed I'll get to do a Darkness.
Yeah, man, that would be dope, man. I love Darkness. As I was telling Mark, because Mark is very Spawn centered, and if you love Spawn, you'll love Witchblade, and you'll love Darkness too, man. It has the kind of a similar tone. Obviously, the stories are much different, but they're all just so awesome, man. And I'm a huge fan of Mark Silvestri as well.
Yep,
phenomenal.
Mark's the king, man.
He is so good, man. He's called the Gentle Giant, man. He's like 6'4".
No, he's 6'7".
Is he 6'7"? Yeah, he's huge, man.
I got a story. I got to meet Mark Silvestri for the first time like 30 years ago. Because he was at Niagara Falls Comic-Con. Now, I didn't remind him of this, but I remember I was walking down a hallway and he was walking, and I was desperate to meet him. And I had my little X-Men books there because X-Men 242 is the books that got me into comics. And I ran into him, and I was just looking at him. I'm like, "You're Mark Silvestri?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "So let me get this straight." I said, "Not only are you a phenomenally good artist, infinitely better than me. And you live a so much cooler of a life as well, because like you're just a cool guy. I said, but you're also, because I'm 6'3" and he's like 6'7". I was like, but you're also better looking and you're taller than me. Fuck you, Mark Silvestri. He just started laughing. So because I guess he just didn't want to kick my ass. I don't know.
You don't like him just because he's him.
Oh, I love Mark Silvestri. Like that guy is just. He's just awesome, but I was just annoyed. I was like, "Come on, man! You can't beat me at everything. Like that's really annoying."
Then
Yeah, you got to give me something.
Yeah, like let me have one win. Like I have nothing. So
yeah, every time I see him at a con, he's always sitting in a chair, signing, and he doesn't look that tall. And then he gets out of his chair, and you're like, "Holy crap, man!"
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I have to look forward to is that he's older than me, so he's getting to the point where he's going to start shrinking, and I'm not there yet. So like, there's a chance I'll catch him. Yeah, I'm hoping just to catch up to him. So,
are you still getting taller, Jordan?
Pardon?
Am I getting taller? No.
Yeah, I think you stopped by now, man.
I'm getting wider. That's not a question.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Yeah. What are you gonna do, man?
So Jeff does have the Jeff has the Godzilla cover, and that's going to be, what was it? It's going to be an exclusive at the Chicago Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's with Zombie Unicorn Comics. A great bunch of guys. So that'll be an exclusive there. And then there's a bunch more coming out now. I'm doing an exclusive for SDCC that I can't tell you about. I'm doing an exclusive for New York. Can't tell you about that one either. Actually, no, I can tell you that. Well, I can tell you that the New York one is going to be Department of Truth.
Oh, okay.
So that one's going to be, and we're going to do something that I don't think has been done before. So
nice.
So yeah, it should be fairly interesting. I hope people will dig it. I don't know. You just never know, right? So and let's see, what else have I got coming out? There's Godzilla. There's an Event Horizon one coming out that got announced, which is a big one for me because I love that movie. It scared the shit out of me when I saw that as a kid, so that was good. And yeah, I think that's the one I'm working on now that I can't quite say, but I had to draw the Fantastic Four, and that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so lots of things are sort of happening. So,
well, I'm glad, man. You both deserve it, man. I love following you, and you guys, freaking art. You know how much I love your art.
Oh, and I got Street Sharks, which I've never heard of before, but yeah, that one's coming out. That one's actually pretty funny. So Street Sharks was like a '90s kids cartoon, and I can't release the details and stuff, but they were like, "Yeah, do you want to do one?" And I'm like, "Have you guys looked at my work? Do you think this is going to go well for kids?" I have doubts, and they're like, "No, it'll be fine."
Well, when he told me about it, I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's awesome!" Street Sharks. Those were my favorite cartoons when I was a kid. It's like, well, so the people that Street Sharks appeal to are in their 30s now, right? Like, I don't think if I were to ask my nephews who are like 10 to 13 who the Street Sharks are, they'd look at me like, "Are they in Fortnite?" And I'll be
like, yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't know who they were either because it was just past, I think, when I was into cartoons, and I looked them up, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I've done some stuff, and it's not cartoony, that's for sure, but I think they dig it, so we'll see.
Are you using that one that you showed me today?
No, we're doing. I guess I can tell you, it's like a giant size X-Men 1 homage.
Yeah, you did tell me that. I remember. My bad.
Yeah, so it's going to be like that with different versions of the sharks, much different versions of the sharks, and then I think for fun, I'm going to do some cards of the various characters, how I like to draw them.
Yeah, that one you sent me was BA. I loved it.
Yeah, that was very random. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can show that to you again. I don't know how I would. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, there's lots of stuff coming out. I have a few more Spawn covers coming out as well.
Sweet.
And I have another one that I just pitched poor Thomas because he's got nothing else to do except look at my shit. So
He just sits there and waits for you to send him the covers, right?
Yeah.
yeah, he just like
He's
when
not
I have an idea, I send it in and I pray like hell, and sometimes it actually works. So
Got to be
it's a good
aggressive,
time.
man.
Now, what was the conversation on the 362 cover? They said, or I think Thomas said that you wanted to color it and he didn't. He said it'd be, which one of you said it'd be better in black and white? Because I definitely like the black and white better.
So
I like the
that
color,
was
but
that was a funny story. So
Yeah.
basically, I did that image, like I was trying something out. I was trying to harness my inner John Tyler Christopher with the negative space and stuff. And I was like, oh, this will be fun. And I stuck it up on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, next. And I didn't think anything of it. Like I had zero thoughts about it after that. And then I get a message from Thomas, and he's like, I want that to be the cover. And I'm like, Thomas, have you been day drinking? Like, it's really early for this shit, buddy. And he's like, no, I'm serious. And I'm like, sure you are. Here's my phone number. You're full of shit. And he called me and he's like, no, I want it to be the cover. And I'm like, you can't be. Okay.
that's awesome.
So, and that's how it went. And it went up. And yeah, it's been a super bizarre trip. I got to tell you. It's very cool. But yeah, it's because of
that's
Thomas
wild.
again.
I thought you had submitted that as a cover. I didn't realize that you just posted it and then he contacted you. That's pretty cool.
That's way cool.
Yeah, like I keep saying, like that guy is just a spectacular guy. Like I hugged the shit out of him when I met him at SpawnCon, and I didn't care. I was like, does he like hugs? I don't give a fuck. So that's just how it went. He does, so that was cool. I think. Although I did it to him, it was really funny because I did it to him in the airport, and I just recognized his hat. And I'm like, that's got to be Thomas. And I just ran after him. I'm like, Thomas. And he's like, yes. And I'm like, Jeff Monk. And I hugged the fuck out of him. And he's like, what? So poor guy. he's just trying to get his luggage. So, good times.
Good, man.
But yeah, that's how it went.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Tommy, at SpawnCon, it was close to like right around right around his birthday. So all of those, like Jeff and everybody that put the con together, had got him a birthday cake, and we all got to sing happy birthday to him and have birthday cake with him. It was pretty cool.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
You gotta have fun with this stuff, right? Did I flip Gunslinger's mask? Did I try to figure that out? Oh yeah, I forgot the little downspout thingies. Downspouts? I don't know what they're called.
Point?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The juicy
That's okay.
danglers.
Yeah, that's the I don't know, face flaps? I don't know what they are.
Yeah. Face flaps.
You're right. I think this is done. So did I screw anything else up? Do you think? What do you think? No?
I don't believe so. It's kind of far away. I can't really make it out. I'm sure it looks great. It's fantastic.
Oh, that looks dope.
There we go.
That looks awesome, man.
Yeah, no, that looks awesome.
Should I do some tombstones in the background or something?
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I like dead people. Wait, what?
Right? The Spawn universe is full of dead people.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
It's almost all dead people.
Yeah.
Jeff, did you happen to see, only because you do draw quite a bit of Gunslinger, did you happen to see the 1/6 kit figure that came out?
I did not. Is it an official one, or is it one of those third parties?
It's not McFarlane. Don't tell Todd.
Dude, they know.
Yeah,
they know. There's no question. Like,
yeah, right.
They know everything. So yeah, I did. I think I did actually see it, and I was like, "Oh, I should get that." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, I shouldn't get that because I literally have way too much shit in my house, and I'm trying to get rid of half of it."
I don't know why I went out of focus. But he's got real jeans.
Oh, that's sweet.
Cloth jacket. He's fully articulated.
Where'd
Yeah,
you
that's
get
pretty cool.
Mark? Where did you get it, Mark?
I don't know where he's not in focus. It's from I can't remember the name of it. Focus Studios. It's 1/6 kit. I saw it advertised. I don't know why my camera's going out of focus.
Yeah.
Punch it.
Punch it.
Yeah, that fixes all electronics.
No, it didn't work. But yeah, I'm out of focus now.
Man.
But
That is incredible.
oh yeah, he's like fully articulated. I haven't really, messed with him too much, but
I mean, they must have had a license agreement with McFarlane, though, right, to do that?
Well, he's not called Gunslinger. He's called the Hell Commander, or
Yeah, you can't do that.
I love
he's
these.
called Gunslinger like Hell Commander, but I mean he's pretty wicked.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know what happened to my camera.
Maybe it'll go back into focus.
I buy a lot of third-party Transformers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got Astro Train here, and his actual name is Thomas, which I found absolutely hysterical. Yeah,
Thomas the Train.
that's how they market him. It's Thomas. And I was like, all right, sure.
That's
Like,
great.
I know an Astro Train when I see it. So, anyways, all right. So this one's done. Let's do the Max. Oh, I got to sign it, right?
Yep, you gotta sign it, man.
Mark, do I give him green eyes or leave him white?
Green.
Okay. Okay. There we go. Done.
Nice.
Give him a black signature, I guess.
That looks awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you were like a little apprehensive about it, like when you were signing your books, but like what you did with the splatter behind your signature, I thought that was pretty wicked. I like the way that pops on the page.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was just trying to, like the Spawn community is, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Spawn community is batshit crazy. They love their Spawn and they are just hyper supportive and they're just awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great group of guys, great group of people. I shouldn't say guys, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe, and then so when my cover came out and all these orders started coming in, I was like, holy shit. I was like, well, what can I do to make this more interesting for them, like to that they'll like it? And I was like, I have no idea. Like, let's just do a splattery signature. And so I did one, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's not awful.
Yeah.
And then I just kept doing them. So, and people seem to like them.
For sure.
So, don't look.
So
Yeah.
how many? I mean, it seemed like you were just forever on your remarks and your sketches. How many? Do you know how many you actually ended up doing?
Several hundred. Which
I know you said you had to call in some favors to get some more covers for books, right? Because you didn't have enough.
Yeah. So what happened was is so my cover was supposed to originally come out in I think like November or something, and then it got pushed back because whatever stuff happened. I was like, okay, fine. And then it was going to come out in March, so I was like, okay, cool. And then I talked to this. There's a store that I deal with called Gotham Central Comics. They're really fantastic. Dig them a whole lot. And they're like, "Do you want to order some books?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's probably a good idea." And so they're like, "How many do you want?" And I'm like, "I don't know." I was like, "Let's get 50 of the white ones, and then 30 of the color." I was like, "That should be more than enough." And he's like, "Okay." And then I put them up on my website, my incredibly slow, frustrating website. And all of a sudden this shit just hit the fan, and like the orders started coming, and like I'd wake up in the morning and there's more and there's more, and I'm like, guys, Jesus Christ. And so I'm like, I need more books. Like I don't have enough. So like I'm freaking out, and so I'm ordering off of eBay, and I ordered off of some shop, I can't remember the name of the shop in the States, and then ordered off some random guy, and then Greg, I like collectibles on WhatsApp. No, not WhatsApp. Whatnot.
Whatnot.
God, there's so many of these fucking things. Anyways, he's like, "Do you need some more books?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I need more books." And he's like, he got me a bunch of them, and then I talked to somebody, like I put the word out. I was like, "I need more books," and they're like, "How many do you need?" I'm like, "Fucking all of them. Like, just get me more books." And so like I'm scrambling, and then somebody was like, "Oh, Capcan Comics has some," and I'm like, "Great." And then I saw Nowhere Comics had some, and they're great guys, and so's Capcan, they're great. So I was like, "Yep, okay," ordering from there and there, and then one gentleman came in and absolutely saved my ass because I was still nowhere close to enough books
Damn.
to do this. And so this guy, I don't know if I should. His name's Lewis. I don't know if I should give his last name or not. I don't know. Anyway, super great guy. He messages me. He's like, "Hey, I would like to get some books signed." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. How many do you want?" And he's like, 400. And I
What?
said, I'm sorry, what?" And he's like, "Yeah, I would like to do 400. I'm like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "You're deeper into this shit than I am. Like, what the hell? Like, my wife doesn't even want a copy." I was like, "You want 400 of them signed?" I was like, "You're aware that I'm literally nobody and I've done nothing, right? Like, you might as well just ask some random person off the street to sign your books." It's like, it's the same thing. And he's like, "No, I want 400. And I was like, "Okay." And then because I'm in Toronto, we're trying to figure out the logistics of it, because to ship 400 comic books from the US to Canada is going to cost you $11 billion. So we're like, well, we can't do that. So I said, "I'll tell you what, I got an idea. I got a buddy in Buffalo, and he's a really good guy. That's Todd. He's going to be a character in my book doing some terrible shit, which he's fine with. As soon as he signs the NDA. Anyways, doesn't matter. And I was like, "I'll just go to Buffalo, and you can ship the books to Buffalo, ship it to like a UPS store or something, and I'll go and sign them there." And he's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." And I said, "But listen, like, I don't charge for my signature." And he goes, "Okay." And he's like, "Great." I was like, "No, not great, because it's going to cost me to go to Buffalo." So I said, "I'm going to have to charge you for the signatures." And he's like, "Okay, how much?" And I was like, "Is $1 okay?" And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, like just to cover like gas and that kind of stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, I think that's fine." Um, so I had this big plan to go to Buffalo, and I was like, "Hey, listen, if you have any extra books, like I'll buy them off you." I was like, "I need quite a few of them." And so he's like, "Well, how about we just trade, you know, back, like I'll give you a bunch of books and you sign mine." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, okay, shit." And so I got a case of C, and that took care of everything. So I still have about 100 and something books left, which is great. And then yeah, he saved my ass. So, but it's all because everybody in the Spawn universe is batshit crazy. So,
Well,
It
sorry
is-
I had to do so many, but I'm glad that it was a huge success for you.
oh man, it was fun. Like it was like I can't believe it. Like this, you guys got to remember, like this is a dream come true. Like
Yeah.
I drew comics when I was like 20. Like I quit when I was maybe 20 years old, somewhere around there. I was in a studio in Toronto, and it really sucked, and there was some really shitty people there. And so, it got to me, and I'm like, fuck comics. I'm gonna go make websites because they have lots of money. So, and that's what I did for the next however many years. And then to be able to come back to this is like, I'll sign whatever. Like, I'll sign your face. I don't care. I just appreciate the fact that there's support, which again to this day kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
So
I kind of want to ask like both of you guys, but Jeff and then Jordan. So do you guys, I mean, you're obviously, in my opinion, really good artists, but do either one of you like have in the back of your mind an idea for like something that you want to do, just like yours, like your own IP?
oh, Jordan, you want to go first?
Yeah, I've done a few already. There were independently, we did them ourselves.
Yeah.
And there's one that I've been working on for years. It's just I come from the music industry, right? I used to do album art and merch and stuff like that, music videos. And I
He's a
always went,
fluffer for Motley Crue.
I went into that with the intention of like nobody knows who I am, and I want to make comics. So getting into music would make me some some clout and some connections to be able to do that, right? But then with the rise of AI art in the 2020, that whole industry
AI.
just kind of like it literally went to disappeared over a period of like 3 or 4 weeks because I was working specifically in the retrowave genre, so like synthwave, electronic type of stuff, gunship, Kavinsky, that type of stuff. And like that whole genre is entirely based on like literally taking ideas from the 80s and using them for your own purposes, right? And so of course AI art appealed very heavily to those guys. And yeah, I was in a couple weeks out of a job. But while I was working in that, I was doing for years because I always had this idea I wanted to do comics, and since like 2016 I've been working on this AR augmented reality comic. It was originally called Night City. The idea was that the city was so large that everybody lives in the night because everybody who's poor lives in the shadow of these giant buildings. To live in the light, you need to be super rich, which my characters aren't. And the whole idea was that all the characters are based on a bunch of the fine people I met in the music industry. And like the caption boxes in the comic book, they're all narrated by their songs. And then the idea was to have augmented reality apps that go with it, that animate it, and have music that goes with it. So the book is like kind of saying to you. But then Cyberpunk 2077 came out. I was like, well, now Night City's going to look incredibly derivative. So I got to change that.
Yeah.
And, I'm one of those guys. Jeff is also this way. Like when you got to retool one thing, it's like, oh, well, we're just going to start from scratch. And then I finally got up to then it was all getting the contracts together to use everybody's likenesses and songs. And that took years. And then once I finally got to sit down and work on it, the whole world changed. And now it's called Velvet Knives. And we're still working on it. It's just, it's on the back burner because I'm trying to build up I want to do it right. I've been working on it for too long for it to not go well. So my whole plan is to, get my name out there with doing these covers and sharpen my teeth. Me and Macy also work on another book called Exodus for a group, which is apparently becoming a TV show out of the States. And we're cutting our teeth on that, working on interiors. And
that's pretty incredible, Jordan. That's amazing.
And then so once I feel like that people will care enough to buy it, then I'll start releasing it. Because I already did the whole first issue, but that was years ago. And now it's like, well, I'm much better. I can redo this. We've redesigned the characters multiple times because every time I revisit, it's like, well, I can do better. And then there was another one that I did years ago for a band out of Charleston that I wrote and illustrated. And that ended up dying in the cradle. We only did one issue of that one. But and then I got a few other. I actually probably write more than I actually draw. I have scripts on scripts on scripts on scripts. And then so what I've been kind of doing is taking all those different scripts that I've been working on because I'm a big fan of cyberpunk, and we have another one called Kaiju Wave that we're working on there's an album out of it actually.
Oh, wow.
I collaborated with one of the musicians that I met that they wrote an album. I did all the artwork. We designed characters, wrote a story. There's a board game coming out for it that they're working on right now. We're doing all the illustration for all the cards and designing the characters for the little miniatures and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
And then the books. That's probably the first book I'll end up releasing because it's Kaiju are hot right now, and I'm kind of in the zone with that stuff. But Velvet Knives is my version of Spawn. It's my thing I've been working on for years. That one day everybody will see it. One day it'll come out, and one day it'll be awesome.
And Jordan, you said Macy does. She's a colorist.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. So she's been doing all the coloring for you on your work.
Yeah, she does all the coloring for the interiors. Like we do a lot of stuff outside of comics. Like one of our main gigs is we do a lot of merchandising and label stuff for a lot of marijuana companies. And there's one out of British Columbia that everybody knows the Garbage Pail Kids, right?
Oh yeah,
yes.
So this guy's a artisan breeder, they call him. So he takes different strains of weed and like breeds them together to create new strains. So what we do for each strain that comes out, I got some. Where'd you put that jellyfish one, babe? She's not even in here. She's doing somewhere else. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Or wait, there's a label right here.
No problem.
Somewhere. I know. So for every strain, we design our own. We call them the Puff Pass Pals instead of the Garbage Pail Kids.
Nice.
So every strain has its own. Oh, my iPad's right there. What am I doing? Has its own character based on what the strain is called.
Yeah, Spawn Garbage Pail Kid.
No way.
Yeah.
And
That's dope.
that's cool.
That's way cool, man.
It's legit. It's real. It's I think it's the series was called I Hate the 80s or no, I Hate the 90s.
So yeah, so each one has its own Puff Pass Pal character that we do based on the character.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we do a lot of these, and Macy's pretty instrumental in these because she also came up with the ideas.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
And so yeah, we did so many of them. He made a new strain. He's like, "What should I call it?" I was like, "Name it after me."
Yeah.
So he did. So there's a maximum noir strain of weed, which I haven't got to try yet, unfortunately. But yeah, we did it. So like, I got my drawing glove on. My sword is a giant paintbrush with calligraphy pens.
That's cool.
Are you gonna do a Macy one next?
There is one. I'm trying to find it here.
Oh, really? That's dope. So is it just on the West Coast then? This company?
Yes. Oh, so yeah, this one's the one that's based off of Macy Jelly Breath. So it's like a
Oh,
jelly.
right there. Oh, that looks dope, man. Like a mushroom.
Yeah. And then there's another company that's out of Toronto.
Did it say Cheeto Piss?
That's
Yeah, Cheeto Piss is one of the flavors. There's another company out of Toronto that they do like they release their weed. They sell their weed in like these foil bags that are the same format and sizing as a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
So each one has like a different homage to a different comic book character. So there's the Lara Croft one. There's the Poison Ivy one.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then this one's the one we just finished. The Harley Quinn one.
Oh, that is sweet.
So yeah, she does all the colors for those. We do a book called Exodus. She does the colors on the interiors for that. And then a lot of the we still do quite a bit of album art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's one of the graded copies of Exodus. So yeah, she does the colors for the interiors on this, and then yeah, a lot of the album art she does the colors on, and like she's starting to branch out. And there's one we did a couple months ago. Let me grab it here. I'll be right back.
Did she do the colors on my cover that you did for me? Do you remember?
Where'd he go?
He took off for. He said he'd be right back.
Yeah.
Oh,
all good.
He ran away.
that's pretty funny.
Is that the max that you're working on? I can't tell.
Yeah.
Max. Look at the muscle.
I figured I'd do a quick max.
Okay,
He
yeah.
always
All right,
has
yeah.
massive
That's his
arms.
shoulder. I see it. Okay.
Yeah, he's always got these massive, ridiculous arms on him.
So yeah, now she's branched out. She's I'm letting her for a lot of the album art do the art direction. So she picks the concept, she comes up with a design, then she tells me what to draw, and then she colors it. This one that she designed. And yeah, I found one of them. So when you get the Puff Pass exotics, they sell the pre-rolls, so you can collect the different characters like cards and the pre-roll tubes.
Oh,
That is so dope, man.
Yeah, they can't do pre-rolls in Ohio yet. It hasn't passed.
Yeah. Yeah, for all I know, yeah, it's only West Coast that sells them. He takes them to like his strains to like cannabis cups and stuff like that to compete with them. And yeah, the reason I haven't got to try the Maximo Noir is because Maximo Noir won a bunch of awards, and so like every time he's the only person who grows it, and so every time it crops out, it sells out instantly. And every time he sends me little care packages every couple months. And there's by the time he sends me stuff, it's like, oh, sorry, that was all gone. I was like, motherfucker, like, how are you gonna name a weed after me and not let me actually try it? But I'm glad it's good, and I'm glad he's successful with it.
Did Macy do the colors on the cover you did for me?
No, I did that one. I did that one myself.
Yeah,
That was before we were really doing. She was really taking that on.
that's
But
awesome.
yeah, she's. We got some more plans for stuff to do, and yeah, she'll see some more stuff coming from her as well.
That's so cool, man. You got the max figure, Mark?
Yeah, series 4, McFarlane, they did release a Max figure all the way back to series
I
4.
have it right here.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't have mine unboxed. He's still in the package.
Yeah, I have to unbox. My wife has been very clear. Everything stays in this room.
Yeah.
So I got to take everything in the box. It's one of my favorite characters of all my characters that I have.
Yeah. Yeah, he is pretty cool.
He's pretty excellent.
All right, Jeff. So, what's your what do you have like an IP that's like cooking in the back of your head or something? An idea that you have of something that you want to put out?
I do.
You don't have to tell us what it is. I just was curious if you had something that you're working on.
Yeah, so it's really strange. Like I've had this idea in my head for probably 30 years.
Okay.
And I finally decided, I was like, all right, well, I'm in a position where I can do it now. So, but now I'm going through all the legalities of, non-disclosure agreements and, stuff like that. So I intend to do it right. But I think it's going to be something. Because I don't have to answer to anybody. So,
right. Yes.
Are you doing everything, Jeff? Are you doing like writing and art, all of it?
Yep.
Oh,
so as I say that, the reason that I feel now that I can do it as opposed to before is I've gotten to the fortunate position of like knowing people in the industry that are, pros and all this. So I can go and ask them. I'll be like, is this really shitty? Like, how can I do this better? And a lot of my friends are willing to help out as well. So that's the only reason that I think it's got a chance. I'm very big on sort of team results. So I'm going to see what I can do, but I've decided to do this thing, and I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to do it the way that makes me laugh, and makes me happy. So the opening scene is a guy being killed by being stabbed in his eye by his own collarbone. Somebody's gonna rip it right out of him and just stab him in the eye with it, and it's gonna be super gross. It's gonna be necessary.
So that
but
means
it's gonna
Marvel is not going to be the publisher.
very necessary.
No.
They don't do the eye thing. That's their
No, they don't. I'll pitch it to Image, but I think the chances of it getting picked up are like pretty much zero. Because I don't know what I'm doing, right? Like I'm just going in and drawing stuff, and hopefully it turns out. And I'm trying to tell a story, and I'm trying to explore some, I think, pertinent issues. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? And fingers crossed.
But you won't know until you actually put it out there and find out how the public reacts. So
yeah.
Well,
I say go for it.
I'm a big fan of Eric Larson. Like I like Eric Larson. He's an interesting dude. I've never met him because I was too scared to talk to him at New York Comic Con. But his Twitter account and everything else, and his interactions with people on Facebook and stuff, I dig Eric Larson, and he just put something. Yeah, the guy's just ridiculous. And he just put something out. I don't know where he posted it up, but it basically said the number one problem artists have is they just don't do it. They sit there and they hum and haw and they go back and forth and they're like, I got to do this, I got to do that, and they're like, fuck it, just go do it. Just start producing. And so I was thinking about that, and I'm like, yeah, he's 100% right. And so that's sort of been my thing, is just do it and see what happens. And what's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to suck, and all right, well, you go in the pile of all the comics that have sucked. So, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, but then on the off chance, that you've done something that you're proud of and it resonates with an audience, that's a massive success. even if it's not financially a success, which probably won't be, but it's not the point of it. So yeah, that's the plan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just have to get a lot of stuff copyrighted, and I mean, the absolute truth of it is this story is it's bigger than my brain. It's going to be really hard to do, and I need other people to help because I can't do it alone. So I'm getting people to contribute and to critique and all this kind of stuff. So when it's ready, it'll go out there, and hopefully people will dig it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I am not artistic, but I will offer my services to help any way I can.
Well, I appreciate that. It's funny. It's not even the art side of it that's the problem. It's funny because I had an epiphany, and I was speaking to a few people about this, and it's really funny when I say this stuff to writers, because I said this to a professional writer, and I was like, okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna tell you my epiphany, but you gotta let me finish. And he's like, okay. He's like, it's gonna be one of those, is it? I was like, it's a fucking doozy. And he's like, okay, go. And I was like, the story doesn't matter. And he's like, what? And I was like, okay, let me finish. I was like, the story doesn't matter. What matters is your characters, their interactions, and how they overcome problems, and they deal with their team. And he's like, okay, we'll keep going. Explain more. And I said, well, you look at a show like House, the doctor show. The fact that he was a doctor, that doesn't matter. It's got nothing to do with anything. He could have been anything. It was how he dealt with his problems and his team, and how they overcame things in their relationships and stuff like that. That's what mattered. And that's why because then you have shows like Friends and Seinfeld, and they're literally nothing. Like, they're nothing shows.
Yeah.
But it's just the people.
Right.
So that's the part that I'm trying to wrap my head around, is how to make these characters relatable. And like he said, and I don't want to name who he is because I don't know. But he said, yeah, he's like, if your characters aren't relatable, nobody's going to give a shit. Like, you could have the greatest action scene in the world, and you can kill these people, but like, nobody's going to feel bad for them if they don't give a shit about the character in the first place.
No, absolutely.
So I was like, okay, that's good.
And I agree with what Jeff's saying, because I mean, I've said this before, but I read like all of the Spawn new titles, everyone that comes out, all the new ones that are going to be coming, and it's like you read these enough, and you you develop a connection to these characters. You actually feel for them, and want to see where they go, or what's happening, or if they end up reconciling any differences. Like, these characters are 100% fake, but you actually you form a connection with them. So when something happens, you feel it with them. Yeah,
and that's exactly what you want, right? Because otherwise, what's the point? Like, who gives a shit if stuff's happening? Like, there's terrible things that happen all over the world every day, and you see it on the news, and you see it all this, and then but realistically, you just sit there and you're like, oh, that's awful. Who's playing in the NHL tonight? Because you don't know those people. There's no connection. So I have to find a way to get that connection, and then I also have to figure out a way to not get sued into oblivion in case stuff I've come up with has already been done. So so it's all very exciting. But I'm fair warning, guys. I am going to draw some terrible shit. It's just gonna be there's gonna be violence, and it's funny. I was talking to my wife. So my wife hates comics. Like, she has no interest in them. She can't read them because she jumps all over the page.
I thought you were gonna say she can't read.
No, she's a doctor, so I hope she can read. She's an incredibly. Yeah, she's like a super smart person. Like, she just is. But for some reason, comics just don't, they just don't appeal, and that's fine. Where the hell am I going with this? Oh yeah, but I was telling her, I was like, yeah, like, all these characters, the way I'm going to humanize them is I'm going to build them both based off people that I know. And she's like, okay. And I was like, well, give me an example. And I was like, well, my buddy Todd that lives in Buffalo. he's going to be a character. And so Todd is one of the smartest human beings I've ever met. He's a PhD in, I think, nutrition, and like he just knows, like he's scary. And I said to him, I was like, yeah, I want to, and he, tells me about his work, and he's like, yeah, today we're dissecting rats and then sending them into space or whatever the hell he's doing, and he's doing all this crazy stuff, and I was like, right on. And so I told him, I was like, I have an idea, and he's like, okay. And I was like, so the scene is going to be, here's Todd, and he's giving a lecture, and he's talking about, well, you can see right here, the lower colon goes here and this and that. And, I'm going to have to obviously get him to help with all the medical terminology, but he's like giving this super intense medical sort of dissertation. And, it keeps focusing up on this one girl who's like listening to it and her eyes are wide and she's like super focused into it. And, and then, Todd begins to get annoyed and he's like, I don't think you guys are listening. I don't think you're grasping what I'm saying here. Like, this is incredibly important. And like, he keeps pointing to all these graphics and he's look, let me show you what I mean. And you turn around and he's got this girl pinned to a wall and completely eviscerated, and all her organs are all over the place, and he's got notes on them and sticky notes, and he's like, look, you can see here, and like she's clearly completely fucked, like she's super dead. And he's like, and he turns around to the girl that's paying attention, and that's her roommate, and she's tied to a chair, and he's like he's got her eyes pried open, and he's like lecturing her because he's just murdered her roommate. But it's all, there's all a point to it. So it's going to be ridiculously violent, like just like probably like therapy inducing, or like
the type where we're gonna have to do wellness checks.
Yeah, like people are gonna send the cops over, and you'd be like, you should just check this guy out and make sure there's no oil drums in his backyard full of people.
Right.
But there's all a point.
Right.
And so I'm going to try and make it like my favorite book is The Dark Knight Returns. That is hands down my favorite book of all time. And like the greatest epiphany that I've ever had about The Dark Knight Returns is Batman has nothing to do with it. Batman's got nothing to do with the whole story. He is just simply a vehicle to explore some of the theories and, all of the nature of man all throughout it. Like, the opening scene is man's inability to grasp aging. Where Bruce is driving this car and he's just like, how men need this danger in their life, and they need more than just, existence. And so once I figured that out, I was like, the character interactions have to be there. But it's the theories that you're exploring that really matter. That's what's really going to make this something else. So that's the plan.
So is it going to be like along the lines of a horror comic, or is it going to be like a mystery or suspense, or?
So it's going to be a little bit of everything.
Okay.
I've been trying to figure out, because I was trying to think about, oh God, this is going to sound like such pretentious shit, and I apologize. I don't mean it to be. But I was thinking about life and how that all works, and and like life is a little bit of everything. Like there's horror, there's mystery, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
So this book is going to be the same way. Like it's going to have, a detective angle to it. It's going to have the horrific violence angle, because I just really like drawing terrible shit. And it's going to have just all sorts of, so it can't really be defined as one sort of genre. And I'm just going to try and make it something that resonates with people, but it also gets them to think. So now, can I do that? I don't fucking know. Like, I'm going to try, but like, that's a pretty big order for an idiot. So we'll see what happens.
Sounds awesome, though.
Hopefully. I hope so.
Hey, comics, you kind of answered this, Jeff and Jordan, but it's a good question from Comics Embrace. He wanted to know what artists have inspired you.
Well, I can definitely say like, Mark Silvestri was my first. X-Men 242 is the book that got me into comics. It's still one of my favorite books of all time. I'm fighting with a guy in France who refuses to sell me my favorite original art page from that book. So fuck that guy. But Stephen Platt was a huge one. That was a big one. I remember seeing Dave Finch for the first time. I think that was Cyberforce 28. the crossover with Joe Quesada's Ash. And I remember seeing that. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And it was just phenomenal. Like it just couldn't deal. And so he's been a huge influence on me. Greg Capullo as well, and so many other things. Like I don't know. There's just so many.
Yeah. How about you, Jamie?
James Gurney was a big one when I was a kid. He's not a comic book guy. He's a painter and an author he's also a paleontologist, and he did a bunch of books called Dinotopia, and he wrote the stories from the first person as if he was like a man trapped on a lost island that time forgot, and like they're written like journals from the point of view of a biologist who he draws out all the different creatures he sees and how they work, and that's what really got me into like. That's why I like drawing cyberpunk stuff. I like drawing the way making sure the joints move properly, the pistons make sense, the hoses all have a purpose instead of just nonsense. But like if we're talking comics, Todd was a big one. Yeah. And probably Todd. I don't know. You kind of put me on the spot here. Yeah, Todd for comics. Clayton Crane recently, like the last few years, Clayton Crane was the one who got like kind of gave me when I was working in the music industry. I was art director at a record label, and what I'd do remarks and like handmade. We started making blank record sleeves for our records, and I would just do the records by hand, do the sleeves by hand, and like sketch covers, and that was a big influence on me. And for like H.R. Giger is another big one. It's not so much his art for sure, but just the way that he is, the way that he was, the way that he talked, the way that he approached life. And that's a really big reason Todd's an influence on me. Is I just Todd's story of coming up in the comic book industry and the way that he kind of operated back before he was, multi-millionaire Todd. But like young Todd was huge. Yeah.
He wasn't that much different though.
Well, no, not. I mean, like attitude wise, but I mean, like the drive to I'm just gonna do it my way, even though I don't have like doing it his way now. Obviously, he can get away with doing it because he's Todd McFarlane, right? He's who he is. But doing that at the time when you're fighting with editors and like you're trying to express something or tell a story that everybody's telling you that they don't want to hear, and you just go ahead and do it anyways. That's always stuck with me. Some big recent ones though is James Haran. His work is I sit there and like Ultra Mega. I sit there and stare at those pages for hours and hours. They drive me wild. And another guy who's lesser known is Bill B. Couture. He's one of the most creative and off the wall, crazy, batshit insane guys I've ever met. And I'm really lucky to have me and him were working together on a few things. And
he's in comics, Jordan?
He does make comics. He does his own. He did a self-published comic a while back. I think I can pull it out here. I think I have it right nearby. It's called Godzilla Primordial. And it's the story of like the time before time, and like when Godzilla and the kaiju were, mythologized before people existed. And like he did a weird he does it just if you look him up, Bill B. Couture on Instagram, he does short comic strips on his Instagram of like he takes things like Fast and the Furious, but mixes it with Back to the Future. But instead of traveling through time, he's traveling through dimensions, and his car is made of baloney. Like it's the craziest shit. There's the main character in a lot of his series lately has been a seagull. It's just the weirdest off the wall stuff, and he's got such a unique style.
You know how to spell his last name, Jordan?
Couture. So it's like couture, like Couture. Like he and we got a bunch of sketch covers here we're working on together. So nice. I sent him a bunch of blanks, and then he illustrated them, and then I've been coloring them.
Oh, that looks dope.
This Ultraman one. See, this is what I mean. It's just weird. Like it's
definitely following this guy.
Bizarre,
awesome
stuff. Like, this one I'm really excited to work color. I didn't even tell him to do this one. He had this blank sitting around, I guess, and he's like, I'm gonna do this and send it to Jordan. I just realized the other day when I was opening it that like he made it a wraparound, and it's this profit.
Oh,
Like this is what I mean. Like it's just weird, and they got Pit in the corner there. It's so creative and unlike anything else I've ever seen. And yeah, I love working with the guy. Me and him have designed a couple shirts and have a few things that we've been cooking up. And I'm hoping. I
want to share real quick a screen. Look at this, how crazy this is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just weird.
What even is that? It's like a shark, I guess, right? Or
yeah,
like a shark with no skin. Yeah, this guy is dope, man.
Baloney shark.
Yeah. Oh, look at that tape. Probably half the people don't know what that is, but that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill B. Couture. Look him up. He does amazing stuff. And yeah, he's another one that this is gonna sound corny, but like Jeff also. There's a lot of times I have rough days, and
Get out of here.
Jeff is Jeff's a good guy to lean on, and he like also that attitude of like get out of here. He's like, you're being ridiculous. Just do it.
Yeah. Knock that shit off.
Yeah. I can tend to be I can tend to get lost in my feels.
Yeah.
And Jeff is good to help. He brings me back down to earth a lot of times.
Fuck your feelings.
Exactly.
Well, that's cool that you guys are able to like help each other out.
That's awesome, man.
Well,
So
I mean, we're all in the same journey, right? So
yeah. So since both of you guys kind of have like your own pet projects or your own independent properties that you work on, do you find that it's easier to write or to draw? Like to come to actually come up with the story or to go on the page?
For me, writing comes like breathing. I write a lot more. There's a lot less pressure I feel to write because nobody knows that I do it and nobody really sees it. So it's just for me. When it comes to art, there's an expectation, right? And there's also a quote that I came across a while ago. I forget who it was that said it, but like artists a lot of us really struggle with drawing the art that we think we want people to see and drawing art the way that we think people want to see it. And like a lot of us struggle with you see the way that like Jeff's earlier comparing himself to Greg Capullo. He considers himself X amounts of Capullo versus
13.
100 Capullos,
13.
right? And like I struggle with that. I think all artists struggle with that, where we're all trying to draw like somebody else, but we need to let go and just draw like ourselves.
Yeah.
You'll never draw like somebody else, and trying to do so is a disservice to yourself and to your work, I feel like.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, for example, these back cover remarks I did for Hyde Street, these were an experiment where like I stepped out and I was like, nobody's doing remarks on the backs of their books. True. And me and Macy put too much work into the front covers that there was nowhere to really do good remarks. So I was like, let's just do some splattery, scratchy things. And these were kind of a breath of fresh air and kind of shook me loose. Where now since then I've been doing like there's a Spawn I've been working on more painterly and loose stuff as opposed to being.
Oh damn, that is. Well, put that back out there. What is it? That is wicked.
As opposed to being obsessed with
make you bigger, man.
Yeah. Or here's one. There's another one here. Let me pull it out. This one. This is a Department of Truth one, and yeah, just getting scratchy and wild with it.
Oh wow.
So
instead of being so like technical with it, and that's been helping me shake this. It's got to be good. It's got to be good. It's got to be good. Whereas just like Jeff also said earlier that just go and do the thing. I'm a big proponent of that idea as well, even though I don't listen to my own advice 99% of the time.
I don't think any of us do.
When we as artists sit down, or writers, or podcasters, or social or content creators, when any of us sit down and I draw something, I write something, Jeff draws something, you edit a video, we've done more in a day. We've created more and put more out into the world than 99% of people do in their entire life.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's something that we as creatives need to keep at the forefront of our heads, because it's really easy to get lost in the idea of things need to be perfect and things need to be produced. We need to create content as opposed to creating art. Like, see, that's the problem I have. I start things, I don't finish them. Just piles of half-finished sketch covers and
whoa, that Hulk is dope.
Half-baked ideas and this one
Well,
is going to be a glow in the dark.
One of the most interesting bits of advice that I got from MegaCon, because I was showing two different types of work. I was showing, the traditional comic stuff, and then I was showing some of the painted stuff that I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the painted stuff actually got a lot more compliments than anything. And I was like, well, that's really interesting. And then, my problem, and I mean, poor Ben Templeton, like the guy's offering to help me, and I'm picking his brain. I'm like, why are you saying what you're saying? Because I need to understand it. The best thing I heard was, when I look at this piece, whatever the hell it would have been, he's like, it looks like you did it because this is what you think you were supposed to be doing. Whereas when you did this piece, it looks like you did it for you. And it's cleaner and it flows better and it just feels freer and it's more artistic and it's less rigid and it feels like an actual expression of you.
Right.
And I was like, well, that's really interesting. So now I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm going to draw this. I don't give a fuck if anybody likes it. And it goes a lot better.
Yeah.
It really does. So
yes, this Macy pulled this out while she heard me talking. This is a Dinotopia book. And James Green, I had these when I was like 8 years old. These have been around. I've had these forever, and they're beautiful oil paintings of landscapes and speculative worlds with dinosaurs, and it's just gorgeous. And I always, one of the reasons I wanted to do comics is because I wanted to make people young. I want to make some little kid somewhere just be lost in amazement that I want to create something like this one day that's just so
that's amazing, man. That's awesome. I can see why you loved it.
Yeah, and it's it's right up there with Godzilla. It's synergistic with the Godzilla stuff.
Yeah, it's Dinotopia, right?
Yeah.
Dinotopia.
When Jeff, when you were talking about the painting, one of my favorite things that you did was the prints that you put out where you hand painted the cape and the coat on there. I love this thing.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man. There was another one where I was just like, fuck it, let's see what happens. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I mean, it's pretty wild because each one came out different and unique.
Yeah, I really wanted to just kind of, I don't know, play with the technique, have some fun. And then there's the negative space of the mask, and I'm like, this is kind of fun. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, whatever, let's just go and see what happens. Because I can't remember who said it to me. Somebody good said this to me. He's like, well, what happens if you sit down and you draw something and it sucks?
Mm-hmm.
So does anybody die? Does somebody lose their house?
Right.
I said, well, no. He's like, does anybody give a shit at all? And I was like, no, not really, just me. And he's like, yeah, but who cares about you? He's like, you're always going to be the problem. He's like, just sit there, just go do it. Because who gives a shit? Just go do it. Yeah. You're not hurting anybody, so who cares? And I was like, all right. And then I just been going that way ever since.
I feel like it would be you would feel like you're under just too much pressure to put out what you think we want, as opposed to you just, being you and doing what you want and putting it out there for us to enjoy, and the fans to appreciate.
Yeah, and that's sort of it. That was one of the things that I've sort of, that's one of the things that I've had to come to terms with is if I do something and people like it, great. If they don't, well, it's practice. Mm-hmm. So, I've learned something from it. It's got some sort of value to it. I may not be able to sell it. It may not turn into anything, but literally sitting there scribbling on, my phone while I'm, having a poop or something. That's got value to it. And like, just do it. Who cares? Plus, then it's really funny. Like if I do something and I show it to Mark there, and I'm like, "This is shit," and I tell him I threw it in the garbage. It's really funny to watch his face. So
Yeah, well, actually, I really like the unfinished one that you sent me. So, and I
I don't
like
remember
that
what I sent you.
Yeah, hold on. It's actually the first piece you were working on where you asked me if Gunslinger uses chains in the comics, and you didn't
Oh.
finish it, and you ended up sending it to me, and I love it.
Well, that's very nice of me.
Yeah, you threw it in with something, but I mean, I like it.
That's awesome.
Well, oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I had an idea.
How to stop the bullets, and you wanted to use the chains, and I said he doesn't really use the chains in the comics, and he's like, well, fuck. So
Yeah.
I got the unfinished one. I really like it.
Yeah, and then the whole thing is that at the top there you can see that there's a sign.
Yeah,
that was going to say that was going to be the OK Corral.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, oh, this will be fun, and then I was like, no, never mind, chucked it. But I learned.
Really like it. You finished everything on the Gunslinger except for his left foot. But no,
did I?
Yeah.
Did I Liefeld it? Did I hide his foot?
Yeah, right. Yeah, kind of. You pulled a Rob on that one.
Is there some weird little mound of earth?
Yeah. I just wanted to mention I know we've mentioned Capullo a few times. I don't know if you guys knew or not, but in December they're finally releasing the next Spawn Vault edition, and it's supposed to be all Capullo.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, so I've already got mine pre-ordered through my comic shop, but it was supposed to come out last year, but it's slated for, I think, this December is when it comes out.
Greg is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
These are another fun little project I've been working on. So when I used to work, before I used to put down the board underneath, I used to just like have a book beside me to dab my markers on.
Yeah.
I'd end up with stacks and stacks of these dabbed on books. So what I've been doing is like, here's a Spawn one that I did. So I turn them into portraits for.
That's actually pretty wicked.
Dude, that looks actually really dope. I love that idea.
Yeah.
It was kind of accidental, but it looks really cool, Jordan.
And there's another one where I made him look who's shot in the head.
Nice.
Those are fun.
Nothing goes to waste, Jordan. Nothing goes to waste, man.
And then also Sex Appeal also does well.
100%.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That looks like that last one looks like what's that one that Jimmy Palmiotti has, his new title? It's not new, but it just goes released by Mad Cave. Pop Kills.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. It's a battle between two big soda companies, but it's super funny, and there's a lot of sex and stuff like that in there too, but it's awesome.
Sex and soda?
Sex and soda.
My favorite type of popping.
Yeah, right. Sex and soda. So, I think I've asked Jeff before, but like, well, obviously I think Jordan's going to say Godzilla, but like, Jeff, what is your? It doesn't have to be Spawn, but like, what you said your favorite character was to draw? Was it Colossus?
Colossus.
Yeah.
So in X-Men 242, which I have previously referenced,
yes,
Silvestri did this panel. And so it's the whole Inferno thing. It's fantastic. It's this whole Inferno. I got a story about that book actually too, if you want. And so Madeline Pryor comes along and she's like, I'm gonna take Alex Summers, and you're gonna be my Goblin King. So she like whips off all his clothes, so he's got like, you know, a very conveniently ripped little thing. And she takes him to the top of the Empire State Building, which is now demonic, and it's all crazy. And like the whole thing is just batshit nuts. It's fantastic. But the next page is this shot of Colossus, and he's like looking up at the Empire State Building, and like the line is just so Chris Claremont, it's not even funny. And he's like no witch or something like that. Not while Colossus has strength to stop you. And he just starts like climbing up the side. I'm like, holy shit, is that ever epic? And that was that very panel that got me into comics. And it's just ever since then I've loved drawing Colossus. So whenever I'm bored, I'll just rip out a little Colossus drawing, and I'm super happy.
Love it.
Mostly because I'm simple. So, you know.
Yeah, you have to entertain yourself.
I always have to entertain myself. Otherwise, what are we doing here?
Right.
What the hell's going on if you don't?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to change how this is working. So yeah. Anyways, where'd Jordan go? He disappeared again.
He's showing us all his comics while you're talking, man.
I'm reorganizing everything that I pulled out because I got stuff everywhere.
I was ready to put a bell on that guy.
So Jeff, I know you said you've got the other projects going on, like you got the exclusive Godzilla cover coming out. I mean, you did the the Night of the Chihuahuas book and the Geiger, but do they reach out to you, or do you reach out to these different comics or publishers?
I've been very fortunate to have people reach out to me. I don't really feel. It's only lately that I've been like, can I draw something for you? And like give them my card or whatever, and like, it's only lately that I've been getting that brave. And so I've been very lucky that stores reach out, or whoever else. So that's been very cool. But now I've decided there's a particular project that I'm going to try to pitch to a certain, and we'll see what happens. So, you guys still there?
Yeah. No.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we're sorry.
Oh, sorry. My wife is calling me, and I don't know why.
All good, man.
So, but I can't.
They do that.
So, yeah, it's just probably something to do with the stupid dog that got skunked right in the face this morning. First thing in the morning.
Oh no! It got stung.
I think it says skunked.
Oh,
skunk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So that was a good way to start the day.
Yeah.
So, what can you do? But anyways, that was that.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
Jack,
Colossus is a shit.
It took me a bit of digging, but
Oh, for fuck's sakes, the dog's still outside. That's why she's calling. Okay, sorry, I gotta
Yeah,
wander outside.
Do your thing.
Kill the camera, but I'll keep the audio on.
No, you're good. You're good, man. You're good.
I had no idea my dog was still in the backyard. So.
Who had the joy of bathing him to get the skunk off of him?
She did. It's her dog.
Okay. Your dog, you clean it.
Yeah, I'm not a dog person. I can't pick up dog poop. It makes me barf.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. Poor dog. Here you go. There you go. Come on. Yeah, no, she got it like square right in the face. Like, oh, that's fantastic. Come on.
I've had that happen to me too, and it takes a while to get the smell out, even after you bathe them.
Yeah. So we've been soaking her in dish detergent and hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
All day long. My wife wouldn't let me shave the dog. I thought that was a good idea, but nope.
What, did you shave it?
Yeah, just shave the dog bald. I mean, it's her fault. So if she's going to be an idiot, she gets to look like an idiot. So that's that.
Yes. So there's some. Spawn's my favorite to draw. He's
just about to ask.
Oh,
killing the
not
camera.
Godzilla?
You lost your camera, Jordan.
Oh. We lost him altogether.
Something you said, probably.
Yeah, right. He said no.
All right. Back to scribbling.
So, I mean, I had mentioned before that, it wasn't until SpawnCon that I actually, found out who Jeff was, but it also wasn't. SpawnCon was actually when I really started paying attention to the different artists that were actually drawing Spawn or that were doing the comics, because I mean, I would read the comics, I would look at the art, but I never really took the time to appreciate, like the different artists. So, now I'm to the point where I can look at a cover or look at a book and pretty much tell you, who has done it. So, I guess SpawnCon is made me appreciate, and like appreciate, the different artists that work on the books.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's been some incredible people working on Spawn, like just like industry legends, and like it's a good book. And then the fact that Todd seems to be one of the few publishers, I guess, that really does respect his fans. He's kept the price low for so long.
Yeah.
How do you not love
went
that?
up.
Yeah.
I think in July is when it starts. Like everything is going up like $1 or so.
It's going
but
to
still,
$3.99, but he still has several titles at $2.99 though.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think he's trying
Jordan, that is wicked.
Jordan, that looks dope as hell, bro.
So these ones. This one's actually this was the first glow in the dark one that I did.
That's the first one.
Yeah. So if we glow,
That would be my favorite, man.
give it a moment, it'll charge up, and then this one actually like the green, she glows.
Oh shit! Damn, that is wild.
Damn. Is that on your site?
Dude, I like the way you did it. Like on the way we're like on her left hand side, it looks like the light is coming from behind her.
Yeah, that was I like
That is
something I've been trying to do lately is working with a backlight and a crisp rim light so that it looks like
Oh wow!
you get nice clean silhouettes, and it works latex works really well for this.
Yeah.
So Catwoman, I've done a lot of Catwoman in the past few months.
I mean, Catwoman's pretty awesome to draw.
Here's 11 by 17 I've been working on for a guy where I took one of the blotters that I keep on my desk and try that.
Oh man,
That is a really cool idea.
that black light Catwoman is insane, man.
I got some more. Give me 1 sec. I'll go grab them.
Have you tried that too, Jeff? The black, like the black light painting?
No, I tend to stay away from color. I am a horrifically bad colorist. I should be legally barred. Yeah, I shouldn't legally be allowed to color anything. Like it's just, it's funny because I was making fun of myself talking to Jordan because, whenever I do the colors on something, it's always just monochromatic. Like it's just red or it's just green or whatever. And like it ends up looking okay, but it's just okay. Like because I just don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but grayscale or black and white is special in its own right.
Well, like I'm a firm believer in like letting people do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when my son was born, they're like, "Do you want to cut the umbilical cord?" And I'm like, "No, there's people here to do that shit. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, the hell." So, and I feel very strongly the same way about colorists. Like, get in there and do your thing, guys. Like, I'm not gonna jump in there. So, my wife wasn't impressed, but I thought it was reasonable. So,
I like that one, Jordan.
Oh, Jordan,
She's been a little promiscuous.
She is gorgeous, bro. That was amazing.
Raccoon City.
Oh, so this was a Rat City blank that I turned into a Resident Evil one.
That's cool. I like the umbrella on the back. Can we say it again?
Oh, that's dope.
Oh, that is wicked.
Those are gorgeous, man.
Yeah, she glows as well, I believe. I think she was a glow in the dark one as well. So if we let it charge up for a minute, she'll glow for us.
Hey, we got a great question from Earl Juju. And then both of you can answer this. I know you kind of answered it, Jordan, but do you guys get any of your ideas from listening to music?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
no.
Do you have an example of maybe something you listen to, you're like, oh, that sounds awesome, man, I could draw that, or our character came out of it?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Jordan, sorry.
Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good.
If you look at her while she glows, I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, no, we like to look at her. She's beautiful, man.
No, I don't get ideas from music. I just get like these random ass ideas out of nowhere. But what I find interesting is when the music that I'm listening to relates to one of the ideas that I've had, and somehow it just kind of furthers it in my head that this is something that I'm supposed to do. It's very it's I'll admit it, it's massive apophenia. I'm taking completely unrelated things and linking them all together because I think it's a good idea. But you know, whatever, if it works. I mean, I don't know if it works because we haven't done it yet, but you know, we'll see.
Feels like it would.
But yeah, that's sort of my thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm weird though. I do things the wrong way. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
You know, sitting here drawing the Max and just making a mess of him. So
yeah, here's
awesome so far.
Here's some of the when I do album art. Here's some of the vinyls that I've done. So I do album art. A lot of the time I'm just given the album because the scene that I worked in, I have people actually kind of trust me to do my thing there. They also just give me an album and say like, hey, here's my basic idea, and you just run with it. Like this one, I actually got this job doing this one because a friend who owned a record label at the time, he showed me the album art that he was going with, and I was like, that's just fucking artwork from the Walking Dead comics. Like, it's been just edited. Like, you can't release that. You will get sued. So they're like, well, okay, the idea is zombies and video games. And so I designed the front, you see the like third person point of view.
Yeah.
On the back, it's the first person point of view with all the heads up display and all the stuff. And the heads up display is all the different people who worked on the album. Cool. And then the different songs and the producers and stuff.
That's awesome.
So when I do album art, I generally like to I just sit down and do a bunch of sketches based on the different songs and then send them off to the person who's commissioning the album art, and then just let them pick from my different ideas because they're all ideas that are born. Or this one's one of my favorite bands, Priest. We listen to them a lot when we're drawing, and this is a hand done one. I did this one. This was a blank sleeve when I started, and then I painted it myself. But if I were to give a suggestion, check out Gunship or The Midnight. They're a really good drawing music, I find. We have them on all the time.
Gunship.
sorry, I got distracted reading all the comments. Well, there's a lot of comments.
Yeah, no, it's great comments, man. They want to know you guys' favorite brands.
Well, they're not even showing up for me. I don't
You don't see any of the comments?
No, I don't see anything on my end.
Oh, I'm
Click
sorry.
on the
I'm
comments
on
tab.
private chat for some reason. Like
Okay.
That's
like
how
a real
it is by
genius.
default. It's the private chat by default.
I don't know who Comics Embraced is, but they seem pretty awesome.
Yo, they're awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What did you say the name of the band was, Jordan?
Gunship
Gunship. Okay.
and The Midnight.
Oh, the two separate Gun Night,
Gunship
and the Midnight.
Gunship and The Midnight. Those are two separate bands. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. How about you, Jeff? Do you have a favorite band you like to listen to while you draw?
It's usually Tool. I love Tool.
Because he is one.
Yeah. Well, no, just because there's just like I was a music guy when I was in high school and stuff, and so I still play the drums occasionally. And like just listening to them, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like you guys are nuts. Like their level of artistry is just.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I don't understand how you get to that point at anything, where you've just basically demolished the rest of humanity, and you're like, yeah, you're all shit. So I like them, and I just discovered, and this is gonna be embarrassing. I just discovered Wolf Mother, and I've been having so much fun with them. They're just really fun to listen to. So
Never heard of them. Wolf Mother.
yeah, they're a good time, man. They're just like. I've been discovering all these like little bands that are just, well, not little bands. These bands that I've never really listened to them before, and then because I guess of the ADHD, I get full on into them, and like Wolf Mother's just a good time.
Yeah.
So
Comics Embrace has Tool in his or her top 5. Sorry, Comics Embrace. And big fan of Wolf Mother too.
yeah, they're just really a lot of fun. And then my setup down here is I'd love to show it to you, but this room is absolutely, it looks like a bomb hit it. It's just horrific. But I have, so there's 3 32-inch monitors plus a 24-inch Wacom plus a 12-inch Surface Pro, and then it's also connected to a 65-inch plasma that's connected to a 1200-watt amplifier with two Klipsch studio towers, and then a Klipsch full 5.1 surround system with a 12-inch sub that my wife bought me for an anniversary present because she didn't know what the hell it was and immediately regretted that. And
I bet.
When I'm down here and working, like, yeah, I'm into the music, and she's learned the hard way that I can actually move the furniture upstairs if I really, really want to.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good time. But she's a good sport. She doesn't really complain.
So if you've got it loud enough to rattle the furniture upstairs, does that mean you're having a good day or a bad day?
Well, actually, both. When it's a really shitty day, I'm like, I need louder music, and when it's a good day, I'm like, I deserve louder music. So, and that's just how that goes.
So I've asked a couple artists before, but so Jordan or Jeff, do either one of you guys like to hide Easter eggs in your art, like something you put in there just for yourself?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, but I'm also going to start. How do I say this? So one of the things that I'm big into is respect for other artists. Like I'm currently working on a cover. It is an Amazing Spider-Man 316 homage, but it is completely demented. And in the bottom, because it's Todd's cover, I had to put after McFarlane, of course.
Yeah.
But I also put an apology to Todd because it's just a fucking twisted cover. And so what I'm going to do is with my books, when I do things, I'm going to pay homage to the guys that, I've guys and girls and whatever else, throughout but I'm going to hide their names in the panels or in the book or whatever else. And then the other thing that I've decided is, guys like you, Mark, you are absolutely critical to my success. Like you have been a big supporter. You have been both, not just even in a financial sense, by the way, but just the fact that you are such a supportive, good guy. You make me think that what I'm doing is the right thing and that I could potentially succeed. And so I'm going to hide you in a book somewhere. Now, I might fucking kill you. I might kill you. I'm sorry.
That would be awesome.
So you say that now, but you don't know how I'm going to kill you, and it's not going to be
the more grisly, the better. Like really, just
it's not going to be like, oh, Mark got hit by a bus. No,
yeah, right.
No, it's not going to be like that. Yeah. Like you're going on a wood chipper or something like that. So
Jeff, I sincerely and truly mean it. I think of myself as the unofficial president of your fan club. I love your art. I'm not just saying that because you're in front of me right now. I truly do. Like I'm a big fan.
I appreciate that, and I really do appreciate it. But and I think stuff like that really, because look, everything that I do I hate, and I'm not saying that to be dramatic. Like I legitimately hate it. This Godzilla cover that's coming out, I redrew that cover at least 4 or 5 times. And I mean, it's painted. So that means like I repainted the whole goddamn thing multiple times because it just wasn't where I really wanted it to be. And then, that was done with Zombie Unicorn Comics. And they're such they're just really nice guys.
Yeah.
So, I had to make sure that it was something that they'd be happy with. And it was at the level that I was comfortable letting it go. So like the support is critical. Sorry, I got a little lost there. I was concentrating on this.
So-
But anyways,
I can kind of relate. Like, I am not art. I dabble in art, like doodles and stuff like that. I don't do anything near the level that you guys do, but I kind of feel where you're coming from because, like, myself, I'm an electrician by trade. I've been doing it for like over 20 years, and
please come
one of
do
the
my
ways.
panel.
What's that?
Please come do my electrical panel. I have a fuse box from 1918.
Yeah, I'm on my way. Yeah, the insurance companies don't like the fuse panels, but but like in the electric, like in my trade, we have to run conduit to put the wires in, and bending conduit takes years of practice to get good at, and it's an art form, and I'll put something up, and if it's going to be exposed, people are going to see it. I try to make damn sure that it's straight and everything looks good, but still, I'm my own worst critic because I will sit there and try to critique, a piece of conduit or whatever, and I'm still not happy with it. But everybody else looks at it, and thinks it looks great. So you're always critical of your own work. You need like somebody on the outside to look at it and say, no, it's fine, just leave it alone, because you're going to keep tweaking it until the day you die if you don't stop.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like the best phrase that I've heard is perfection is the enemy of completion. Right. So you're going to sit there and
100%.
futz around with it, and it's never going to be. It's just never going to be what you want it to be. It just isn't, because you're always going to think, oh, I could have done this, could have done this. Yeah. Okay. Sure. You could have done that, but you didn't. So fuck off. Do it the next time.
Right.
And that's very much my thinking now. Is like I'll go through something and I'll be like, oh my god, I completely botched that. I'm like, okay, for next time, don't botch it, idiot. And then and then I do it again because I'm stupid. But you try.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but like, I mean, everybody, Jordan, Jeff, you, I mean, Tommy, me, we all make mistakes, but I mean, that's not going to, define who we are, or screw things up. Not everybody's going to stop following you because, you screwed up one cover or you didn't do one thing right. I mean, that's just all part of being human.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody unfollows me because they don't like, it's one thing if it's the content of something that I like, if it's something political or religious or sure, okay, I get it, sure, but they're like, ew, he rendered that guy's arm really stupid, I'm out. All right, cool. What am I gonna do, man? It's it's like Mitch Hedberg said, like, you can't please all the people all the time, and last night all those people came to my show.
I miss that guy. That guy was awesome.
He was a good time.
He says my favorite joke of his was he just stands there and he goes, I tried to walk into Target the other day and I missed.
Yeah.
I was like, that was just so damn funny. Like he was just so deadpan, and serious.
Yeah.
Like when you heard that he died of like a heroin overdose, you were just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
for
that tracks. Yeah.
There's no way he was sober.
Yeah, to think like that and have that kind of mindset to be that kind of funny. Yeah, it takes, I think, a little extra help.
Yeah. And he had it, apparently quite a bit of it. So,
yeah.
Like I know when I do my book, like, and I'm pitching one to the publisher, there's a joke in there that I think people will resonate. I think they'll like it, but it's like, I don't know if they'll let me do it. Like, I want to have these two guys standing there and they're looking at a dead body that's been crucified, and one guy turns to the other and goes, do you know why chicks dig Jesus? And he's like, no, why? And he holds his hands apart. And he's like, because he was hung like this. Maybe that'll resonate. Like, I don't know. Like, or maybe the book gets canceled. So,
in 2025, that's pretty tame. I think you'll be fine.
I would think so, but like you never know, right? So, but as we were saying, like just do what you're gonna do and see what happens. So,
yeah, I've gotten to the age in my life. I'm almost 50, where it's like, I don't care if you don't like what I do. That's not my problem. That's on you.
Yeah.
You can't live your life, worrying about what everybody thinks about you. You just do what you do, and the fans will come.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of the guys at MegaCon was saying. Like, just do for you. Like, do what you're going to do so that you can stand out, and it'll go to people. And then that's what Todd does. Like, Todd's like, fuck it, I'm going to do this. Like, you know, like my favorite thing about Todd is Cygor. That makes no sense. Why
Right.
is there a cybernetic gorilla in the middle of a story about a soldier coming back from hell? It's fucking nonsense. But like what makes me really happy is like picturing Todd at home watching Planet Earth, and David Attenborough's talking about gorillas, and Todd's like, "Fuck, we should have a gorilla." And next day he just runs into the office, "Fuck a gorilla!" And then he like sees the coffee maker. He's like, "Make him a cyborg," and that's it. Then now you have a cyborg, and that's amazing to me. Like,
Right.
and I really hope that's how it came about. Like, I really do.
It sounds something Todd would do. It sounds like that's how he come up with this idea.
I hope so. But I mean, like, how do you not love that? Like, how do you not, appreciate that and really respect it for what it is? It's just, I hope he's not nuts. I think he is, but I have no proof yet. So
I think he's nuts in a good way, though.
he is. And like, he's just, it's funny because like, I went to, again, not to keep hyping up MegaCon because like it was good, but like whatever. But he had this panel, and I think Thomas has said the same thing actually. And they're like, our favorite day is when we have brought in an artist, and then we call them and we're like, hey, listen, we need this cover done, and they're like, no, I'm too busy. And they're like, I'm working for these guys, and they're just too busy to take it on. He's like, that makes us really happy. And I was just sitting there, and I'm like, but I don't want to go anywhere else. I don't want to do other people's covers. I want to draw Spawn. I want to draw monsters and demons and like ridiculous shit for no reason. Like that's exciting to me. So we'll see. Maybe one day.
Yeah, K-pop says, yeah, but Cygor figures are so dope. They really are.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They're amazing.
But they're nonsense. They're fucking nonsense. Like it just doesn't make any sense at all.
Just trying to find room for that figure is a pain in the ass, but it's awesome.
Oh,
yeah,
I have the one
great.
out of the box. I think it was from Series 12. He had a cybernetic baby gorilla in his belly. Yeah,
that's perfect.
Yeah, he's just sitting outside chilling on the shelf.
Yeah,
and like I love stuff like that. I love stuff where it's so obviously a result. You know what? And not to name drop or whatever, but that's why I'm enjoying Thomas Healy's stuff so much.
Yeah.
Because like Thomas is, you talk to him about stuff. And like at SpawnCon, it was super evident. He starts talking about Spawn, and his eyes just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and he's like getting into it, and he's like, he's just fantastic. Like, and it's 100% love of the medium, and the whole thing. Like that guy's too funny. Like he sent me a present once. Because he's like, here, you uneducated idiot, read this. And because I told him that I hadn't read The Invisibles. And I was like, yeah, I have no idea I have no idea. Because I have to admit, I don't know a lot about, there's a lot of books that I haven't read, and I should have read them, but I just didn't read them. And that was one of them. And so like, this like 800-pound omnibus shows up, and like the Amazon guy that delivered it is dead at the bottom of the stairs. And like, so now I have to like get rid of that and I start reading this thing, and I'm trying to read it, and I'm like, holy shit, my brain is spinning. Like it's just spinning because there's so many elements in it.
Yeah.
And as I'm reading it, I'm realizing like I'm not getting half of this. Like I don't know what the hell's going on. And so I'm telling him about this, and he goes into like this explanation. I'm like, holy fuck, Wikipedia, calm down. Like he just knows this stuff because it comes from a place of absolute love.
Yeah.
And I admire that. And that's the kind of people that I want to work with. I want to learn from people like that.
Yeah.
So, sorry, that was a bit of a rant.
No, it's awesome, man.
Jordan, is that cover for somebody, or are you just working on it?
This is just working on it.
Is that for tomorrow?
I was gonna have it for tomorrow. Yeah.
There you go.
Is that for your
Jordan?
Jordan?
Sorry, go ahead.
Huh?
Is that going to be
Pardon? You were both talking at once.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, Jordan and I are going to an event tomorrow for a really good store in a suburb of Toronto. It's got to be the craziest comic store I've ever been to. Like it's just nuts. The amount of stuff that they have is just crazy. But it's their birthday bash. So for 2 days they've taken over the parking lot, and we're just going to go and we draw and we sit there and we eat burgers, and the burgers make us have really bad burps. So I'm excited about that. And there's wrestling and there's cars and this, the store is Gotham Central, just to throw them out a shout out. Apparently I'm not good at this stuff, but yeah, that's what we're doing tomorrow.
I think I've been there. Working in the grocery industry, I've managed a lot of grocery companies in Canada too. So going to Toronto quite often because most of the companies are headquartered there, like Walmart and all those chains. So every time I travel, I try to find a comic shop. So I think I've been to that one actually.
It's like, because you walk in and it's just floor to ceiling shit everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
And you're like, holy Christ, like, how do you afford this? But like,
it's a huge store too. That's the other thing. Like it's not a tiny hole in the wall. It's a massive store.
Yeah, and it's full, like to the brim of stuff. So yeah, it's a good time, and like the owner's pretty fun. He's a good time.
Yeah.
He's got a lady friend who is way cooler than he is. Shout out to Clara for being the coolest shit I've ever seen. Carlos is okay, but yeah, that's what we're doing tomorrow. So
that's awesome, man.
So yeah, should be fun.
Yeah, I don't go to, like, excuse me. I for work, I travel, so I try to hit up like different comic shops when I'm out, but nothing compares to mine. Like back here at home, it's a small little mom and pop shop, and they have 10 years worth of comics. For Marvel, DC, like everything, all newer stuff, and it's still all cover price. They don't mark anything up. So you could, if there's something you're looking for, you can walk in there and probably find it. They don't do awesome. And it's not like you walk up to the register, they're like, oh, well, let me tell you what the price is. Nope, you pay cover price for everything.
Wow, that's unheard of, man.
Oh yeah, plus I get a pretty decent discount for going there as long as I do. I guess as much as I buy and spend in there.
Just because you're crazy and you buy 50 issues of a comic so you get the 1 in 50.
I've only done that twice. I did it for
it's like a $500 comic book, man.
Yeah, hey. Well, I get a pretty decent discount, so
yeah.
I did it for the Deadly Tales of Gunslinger, and I did it for the Curse of Shirley Johnson, so I could get those covers.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often, but I'd say the 1 in 50 would probably be my limit. If they have a 1 in 100, or no, I'm out.
Yeah.
And unless it's Jeff, and then I'll get a second mortgage or something so I can get that cover. But
I don't think I'll ever be that cool.
Jeff,
have you seen the Spawn artists, man? So some of those guys are nuts. Like they're just crazy.
Yeah. I guarantee one day we're going to see a 1 in 50 Jeff Monk exclusive cover. Yeah. I know we will.
Yeah, because I've published it, maybe, or
and you sold 50 copies, and they were all to me. Yay!
Yeah, I was like, "There's only 50 copies." Like,
there's only 50 copies, and Mark has 49 of them. All right.
Yeah, so like, pay up.
Right.
So,
Jordan, Jeff, the one that you're working, well, you have the Gunslinger that you did right before this, and then you have the Max, and then Jordan, yours, Godzilla. Will those go on your like whatnot page, and will this go on your?
I love that, Jeff.
Page?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with this.
Okay.
I'll just give it away. Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually gonna do a really fun giveaway. So I guess I'll announce it here first. So anybody that ordered one of the books off my site, either the signed ones or the remarked ones, I'm gonna actually airbrush one of the 362s to make it a glow in the dark version. So the whole cover will be glow in the dark, and I'm gonna give it away to somebody that ordered the books off my site. Cool. Just because The amount of support that these guys showed was just like, you're nuts. So hopefully they'll dig it. I mean, I don't know. But I think it'll be neat. And then I'm going to write, one of one on the cover. So that if they send it to CGC, it will say one of one on the label. Because CGC is really cool about stuff like that. They're like, oh, that's fun. Let's do that. And so I love those guys. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. So there you go. There's a limited one for you, Mark.
Okay,
I
sweet.
just added the whatnot page for you, Jordan, and then your website, Jeff. Make it easy for
Oh,
me.
thank you. I'm sorry that the site is so slow. I don't know why. I've given up trying to figure it out. Like, I'm just gonna move to a new host and like hope like hell. Because I hate websites.
I was able to get through.
Websites are such a nightmare.
Yeah, so you had a little bit of a time getting it up and going, but yeah, I've used it a few times. It's fine.
So I used to do like website development and branding for companies. It's what I did before my mom passed, and I just retired and said, fuck the world. But it's amazing. Like, every website is a different creature, especially if you're using something like WordPress, because and I'm sure actually, Mark, your work is the same thing. As like, you go into a house, you're like, okay, this is how this is going to be wired. Nope, that's not how it's done at all.
100%. Oh my.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like every time you build something out of WordPress and you install a theme, all of a sudden, whoever this random asshole is that designed the theme, they figured out an entirely unique way of doing things, and then you have to sit there and try and figure out the mindset of some lunatic from halfway across the world. So like, websites are a good time.
Yeah, I can relate. At least on the electrical side of it, like, yeah.
Same thing goes with records and music and doing cassettes and CDs and the vinyls themselves. The companies that actually print the physical media are not the ones who release the music. And all CDs, all cassettes, all records are all the exact same size because they all play on the same machines. I have never come across the same formatting twice. And like, this is some manufacturing companies that I've worked with multiple times, done like 10 different records through them, and every single time the formatting for the same media is completely different and with zero explanation. And sometimes it's in Polish, sometimes it's in French. You got to figure it out yourself. And
I like Polish.
Basically trial and error. It's I think that's a pretty universal thing for anything that's technical that requires somebody who actually kind of like requires a specialty craftsman to work on. It's so highly specialty that everybody has their own way of doing it, but nobody does it the same, even though it's all universal.
Yeah, I don't have patience for that shit anymore. Like, that's why, like, I'm just done. So I'm just so bitter from working for corporations and stuff. Like, that's why I just draw comics now and I'm happy. So
That's awesome. You could do that. That's awesome, man.
Well, unfortunately, it was due to my mom's, passing. Right, that's the only reason I can afford to do this. Because Toronto's an absurdly expensive place for really no justifiable reason. Yeah. Because it's not great here, but it is what it is.
I live 45 minutes away, and I have a hard time even going there.
Yeah. Everything's expensive. Everything's insane, and it's just getting crazier.
Yeah. Well, Vancouver too. One of my coworkers that I worked with before, he says the pricing there is getting insane too. Like housing,
Vancouver's always been more expensive than Toronto. Vancouver was, at one point, Vancouver real estate was more expensive than Hong Kong, which is just, if you sit there and think about how stupid of a statement that is, it's just bonkers.
Yeah.
But it was the truth. So, yeah, I don't know. My wife and I are very, very, very informally, completely casually, non-committally thinking about moving to Greece.
Really?
Yeah, just because I don't know, I'm pretty fat and I like to eat, and like, I can stay here and I can spend $40 on McDonald's for lunch. Or I can move to Greece and go to a village where there's an 80-year-old Greek woman that's been cooking since she was 4 years old, and she can make me lunch out of a pig that yesterday had a name. So like that's just and it's like $12 for everything. So I'm like, what am I doing? And then I can just go be a fat piece of shit floating in the ocean. So like that sounds like a great idea. So
Great, more
we'll
trash
see.
in the ocean.
Exactly.
More trash in the ocean.
But like she's got a friend out there, and you know they apparently everybody rents apartments. It's not very common to have a house. And she said, you know, in the morning she would go out and she would sit on her little porch and look down at the ocean and watch the dolphins. And I'm like, I saw a homeless man pissing on my fence. Like that was kind of cool. Like, you know, bet you can't see that there often. So,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking about. So,
Well, I mean,
we'll
yeah,
see.
with you know, the type of profession, you know, with the drawing, I mean, you're not tied down to anywhere. You don't have to live like, you know, next to your publisher or next to, you know, anybody, because I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, do both of you traditionally, or Jordan, you said that you're doing more like traditional work on paper versus like trying to do it like on an iPad or digitally. So Jeff, would that mean that you would have to, if you went to Greece, would you have to do everything digitally then? Because
No,
obviously
not
you
at all.
can't.
You can still scan stuff and send it wherever you need to send it.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because like my process right now is very kind of strange. So I start out digital. So I do like the structure lines, and I do especially for stuff like buildings.
Mhm.
It's just 1,000 times easier to do it digitally. And so I'll do it digitally, and then I print it out and I draw. Oh shit! I'll print it out and I'll draw on top of it, and so that kind of fixes up a lot of my weaknesses and it hides a lot of them because the digital side of it has sort of fixed that. Um, and then I put it back into Photoshop and scan it and molest the shit out of it, and then eventually it's done.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I was doing today with that. Like I'll show you little bits of this. Like you can see, okay, how am I gonna do this? Like you can see the buildings and stuff here. These are all digital, but they'll get tweaked. You know, on here, there's digital. Don't look at that.
Trying to see anything.
You know, and then that'll all get tweaked again when I put it back in, and then separated for colors and stuff, and you know that'll be that. So.
Now, do you guys get to choose who your colorist is? Like, could you make a request, like who you want to color your work?
Oh God, that's a fucking question for you.
Everybody that I've worked with so far, yes.
You get
Everything I've done so far, but like,
cool.
also Jeff's been working with a few more bigger boys than me, so
okay.
They might have different rules.
Oh, I think my headphones just died. Hold on a second.
Convenient.
Yeah, my left headphone definitely died.
Oh no.
Have they both gone out?
Well, we've been going for almost 3 hours, guys. So I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I gotta get back on Whatnot. I have a resale show that starts in 5 minutes.
Oh.
Can you hear me at all?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Strange. I guess my phone just defaulted over to the speakerphone. So that's not the worst thing ever.
You actually sound better.
Thank you.
I mean, not that you sound worse, but you're clearer.
Oh, that's bizarre.
Yes, you come in real clear.
Yeah. Sounds like you're in my house. Are you in the house?
Are you sure I'm not?
Ooh, maybe not. I better start checking.
I like what you're wearing.
Thank you.
I can smell you.
Ooh. I wore your cologne just the way you like it.
That is the way I like it. What the hell were we talking about? Sorry, I got lost.
Oh no, I'd asked you, Jeff, if you like if you get to choose who your colorist is or who gets to color your art.
So that's actually been a really big challenge for me and a really big sore spot. So thanks for bringing that up.
Oh, you're welcome. You know, I just like to dig that knife in there.
Because I'm really bad at coloring stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've been over this. So I've been trying to find colorists for quite a while. And the problem is just because a colorist is, and I'm learning this. These are things that I'm learning in the industry.
Yeah.
Just because a colorist is good doesn't mean they're going to work with me. In the sense that when they color my stuff, it just doesn't jive well together, right? Like, and assume it's like anything. Like, you have musicians who are incredible musicians, but it doesn't mean they're going to be a good band. I've been lucky to be colored. Ivan Nunez did my Spawn 362 cover, so that was cool. Robert Nugent did a what's it called? A print. I don't think I have a copy anywhere near me. But he colored that one of the clown's head splitting in half and the violator bursting out of it. He did that one.
I that one.
But other than that, it's actually been a bit of a struggle to find a colorist that gels well that I can also afford. Because like prints and stuff don't sell a lot. They're not a big money maker. So if I'm going to, I don't mind like myself not getting paid. I don't care about that. I like to draw. But if I'm also paying a colorist $150 or $200 US to color something, now I'm down money and I might not make that back. So it's tricky. It's tricky finding a colorist. It's been a bit of a struggle.
Now, did you color the Gunslinger that I bought, the original art?
No, that was Dan Olvera.
Okay.
And he is a phenomenally good colorist. Like
I love the colors on this thing.
Yeah, he is super talented. But also he's a good example. He did that one brilliantly. And then he did another one and it just wasn't quite what I wanted. And it's not a knock on him because it's not his fault. It's just that I'm like, it's the same problem that I have with inkers, right? I'm new to all of this. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just sort of hacking away at it. And that means that sometimes I can't necessarily tell you what I'm looking for and what I'm trying to achieve. And so, he'll color it the way, or he'll ink something the way that they want to do it. And when it's done, I'm like, it's very cool, but it's not what I would have wanted.
Yeah.
So, it's a tricky thing. So my understanding is that pencilers and inkers take quite a while to gel. And then same thing with colorists. Like it takes you time.
Yeah. So typically would an inker or a colorist get with like you, the artist, and say, hey, I was thinking like, I think, this would be done this way, but you had a different idea in your head. Like, do they try to collaborate with you and figure out how you wanted it done, or do they just do their own thing?
It depends on who it is. I know, like with some of the colorists that I have worked, that I've hired, I've tried to give examples and obviously samples of what it is that I'm looking for, and then I try to articulate it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I do a good job at that. And so, like when it was, Robert Nugent, who's he does a lot of coloring for McFarlane, because he's fucking amazing. He basically just went to town on it and did his thing, and it came back, and I was like, "Yep, that's it. It's ridiculous and carnal and absurd, and I love it." But and then with Ivan, when he colored 362, I didn't even really know it was going to be colored. Like I made the eyes green. I'm like, okay, that's enough color. Fuck it. And then Thomas is like, I have a surprise for you. And I'm like, okay. And he showed it to me and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And it was just like so much was put into it. And I'm like, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have a lot of feedback in it. He just sort of showed up one day and he's like, look what I have. And I'm like, look at you. So that's how that went.
Yeah, I like, a lot of the black and white covers that come out because, I mean, they're just, sometimes some of the detail gets lost in the color.
Yeah, and that's something that I sort of personally struggle with. Like, I love sketch covers. Like some of my favorite covers are the spawns from I think 220 to 230, the homage covers that Todd did. And I love them because I can see the pencils and I can see the inks and I can see the artwork. And it's a real pain in my ass that those things are expensive as hell. Because I just want to look at them and I want to own them. But they cost $1 billion, and if I buy them, my wife's going to kill me in my sleep. So
right.
And she can do it too. So
at least she'll wait for you to go to sleep, though. That's kind of nice of her.
Yeah.
When I married my wife, so my wife is a naturopathic doctor, and she is she practices, or she used to practice something called IV therapy, which is, she gives you intravenous, and it's like vitamins or, whatever it is that you need that your stupid body is missing. She would balance you out. And it's funny because I thought it was absolute crap when we first started dating, but I was like, but I want to see her naked. So,
yeah, shoot me up.
Then she gave me one because I remember the first time it happened because I was getting the flu. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like a bag of fried ass. And she's like, here, I'll give you an IV. And I'm like, okay, sure. And so she gave it to me. She's like, let's go for a walk. And I'm like, oh, can I just lay down and die? And she's like, no, idiot. And so we went for a walk. And then we were getting back to my apartment. And my apartment was an old building that had stairs in the front. And like, not a lot of stairs, but like they were old stone steps. So they were all like just different sizes and they were all stupid.
Yeah.
And so I ran up the steps and like I didn't even think about it. And I bounced all the way up the steps. And I got up there and I was like, oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did. And like I felt great. So yeah, so that was that. But she also told me when we were getting married, that she could kill me in 5 ways that can't be traced by the police. So she's like, nobody checks for too much insulin. Nobody looks for a little extra potassium. And I was like, all right, so I'm gonna behave. I'll be a good boy.
Yeah, right. He said, I love you.
That's a
exactly.
man right there.
Yeah.
So I'm still here, so I must be doing okay.
Hey, well, guys, I think we should probably end it here, man. We're at the 3-hour mark. I know, Jordan, you got to go to your Whatnot page, so go follow Jordan. I put the link in here for Jordan, so you could head over. I'll put it in one more time. And then and on his Whatnot page, all kinds of amazing art that you could purchase. And then Jeff, same thing. Here is his website. Head over to his website, check it out. All kinds of amazing art that you could purchase as well. Follow both of them on social media. 2 amazing artists, 2 amazing guys. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you spending this much time with us. Wasn't expecting that, and it has been awesome, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. I've always enjoyed chatting with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I hope you guys post the art that you did today. We'll share it just so people could see it, but absolutely phenomenal. And let us know if it's going to be on one of your sites that people can maybe grab.
Yeah, everything I make is always for sale. So anybody can just message me on Instagram if you see something that you want. It's the easiest way to do it. Or always available for commissions too. I'll make whatever.
Nice.
Yeah, Jordan, it was
do with this.
Jordan, it was really cool getting to see a bunch of your art. I'm definitely going to go check your stuff out.
Thank you. It was great to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
And yeah, I will. I got a jet, but thanks for having me, and I'll hopefully talk to you guys again soon.
All right,
absolutely, Jordan. Thank you, man. Tell me you said hello.
I will do. I will.
All right,
Cool.
my friend. All right, Mr. Jeff, we appreciate you, man.
Well, thank you for having me. Like, I had a great time. Hopefully, I didn't say anything too terrible.
We'd love to do it again, man.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm not going to be able to make it to Chicago to get the Godzilla cover, but I am 99% sure I'm going to be at the New York Comic Con this year.
Nice.
Alrighty. Well,
So I'll have to catch you there.
I will have a lot of extra copies of all those covers and some other ones that are coming up. I got some good surprises for you coming, so
Oh, dude, awesome. Okay, cool.
we'll get you hooked up. Don't worry.
All right, man. Looking forward to it.
All right, boys. You have a good night, and I'm gonna go deal with my stinky dog.
All right. We'll see you.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody in the chat for joining today. It's been a blast. And Jeff, thank you again for joining, man. It's been awesome. Mark, always.
Oh, yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you. Night, everyone.
Bye.
Cool. Take care, boys.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.